may have. Squeaky door, malfunctioning door, or a need for a new door, which is what prompted us to give them a call, 916-638-4554. At National Garage Door Service is their number one priority. I've witnessed that commitment in my own home, certainly in our garage. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They are the nation's BSE broken spring experts. So if you have a garage door that looks and sounds like it dates back to 450 BC, National Garage Door can help. Whether it's a garage door tune-up, repair, or replacement you need, they'll take care of you at National Garage Door. 916-638-4554. That's 916-638-4554. National Garage Door.
It's Carmichael Dave talking to you about my good friends at American Energy. You're in the Sacramento area. You know how the seasons work. They are a-changing right now. So American Energy wants to help you stay warm for the rest of the cold season, but help you stay cool during the warm season. Best way to do that, make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of half off a tune-up, $24.50. They cut that right in half. And if you want a diagnostic, guess what? You can't beat free. If it's free, it's me, and now it can be you. And also, it's the end of the season blowout. $4,000 off a new system plus any rebates. That $4,000, that's a direct drop from the sticker price. It's a great deal. Check them out at theaeway.com or an instant quote, or give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento Kings basketball is after the launch to beat the clock. And he scores another three-pointer.
The run to the playoffs.
Oh, what a pretty move by Domantas Sabonis on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
Yeah, happy Monday, if such a thing is possible. I'm a little confused today. Sheeny and I went to the game yesterday. We were sitting in the seats. We had tickets. And by the way, thank you, Kyle Draper, for saying hi before the game.
Can you hear me? Am I good?
Yes, sir.
Mic is on. Are we good? Okay.
Thought he blessed you with the tickets.
Nah.
Oh, that's all right.
Why he got his own hookup? We know that.
And and Sheeny said, yeah, Mark Jones looks different on TV. And I said, no, that's not Mark Jones.
I'm sure she didn't say that.
She did not say that.
I know she didn't say it. She knows exactly who I am.
No, but thanks. So I know you're like right about to start your stuff. So thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Man.
But at the end of the game, when I think it was Scott Moak announced, and the Kings have clinched the 9th seed, and there's a guy in front of me in the fans, like, yay! I thought, okay, it's something. But today, what I'm hearing, at least on the radio, is, the Kings, oh, boy, this is what are we doing the 9th?
Who you hearing that from? Show you listening to.
Yeah, who you listening to?
Speak on it. Don't say it.
Don't talk about people when they've already left the room. But I'm hearing that actually not just here, a number of places. It's kind of gloomy and doomy. And on the one hand, I understand that. The 9th seed is nothing to do backflips about. But, hey, we got a game Wednesday at home. I'm looking forward to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have no problems with this. I'm glad we won, and it happened in the fashion it did. Kings running away the other afternoon against Phoenix, and so we got postseason basketball in Sacramento. Like, it's all we can ask for. I'm ready, and the path is. I could see a path to us actually getting in.
Yeah. Nothing would surprise us, obviously, but I think they have more than I wouldn't say, the Kings have a puncher's chance. They have better than that. They should win against Dallas.
They should win.
I think they'll probably play Memphis. And they're kind of unraveling a little bit.
Exactly. You got to go on the road, but, we're talking Wednesday and Friday, and it could be worse. It could be the season's over, and we're wondering about Doug's future and our players' future. I'm happy they clinched it and they have a home game for the fans, Whitey. I feel like the fans deserve one more game at least, instead of to go out with a whimper like that and then go on the road. So, no, I'm looking forward to Wednesday, man.
Yeah. By the way, Domas now has led the NBA in double-doubles for 3 straight seasons. The only people that have done that?
Of course I do.
That is incredible. I had not seen it till just a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
so
yesterday. That was in our notes.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain, Moses Malone, Kevin Garnett, and George freaking Mikan.
George Mikan.
Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. That's, in 60 plus doubles. Like that's, he's been a model of consistency. Would have had more if he hadn't missed time.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's what's so scary about it. What did he have last year? 78? Or something like that. Like he had something insane amount last year, but he's been a model consistency, man.
Yeah, and your boy Valanciunas yesterday was huge. Are we going to see the two of them together, perhaps?
We might, depending on what Dallas do.
King-size combo.
King-size combo. And it's funny, I did the post-game interview with Valanciunas yesterday, and we were talking about the play-in, and he's very well aware that he's been in every play-in so far, and he's the league leader in play-in points and rebounds. Like, he's like, yeah, I know all about it. I'm going back again. But he looked fantastic, and I think we might see it against this Dallas team if they go Gafford and AD or something like that.
Against them, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Is that the one where it didn't work out that quite well?
I think it worked that game, but then didn't work so well the next game against New Orleans. But I could have my wires crossed. Yeah. In the chat here, Emmadrock asking, Whitey, is that an OG Makuni shirt? It is, because yesterday on our way out, we ran into Taro.
Oh, okay.
He said hi to his wife, and all his grandkids were there. So I wore this old Makuni shirt, and I have no idea what this says. And my wife's born in Okinawa, and she looked at it. She goes, yeah, I don't know. So I did find out that this shirt right now on eBay is going for $12.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know what it says.
Dude, shout out to Taro. You heard he sold out, right?
Yeah.
Literally sold out. Good for him, though. That's big time money.
Yeah.
Good for him. Yeah.
He's been a long time staple of obviously the restaurant community, but the sports community as well.
Yes. You can't miss that guy. Always wearing something a little flamboyant, the pants and everything like that. And I saw him courtside out there, living his best life. And so, no, it was cool. It was cool to see.
Yeah. Enjoying the fruits of his hard work, many years of hard work. I just wish I knew what this said. How about the Kings right now? Kyle Draper, are they playing their best basketball? At least the best basketball we've seen of this group.
No.
They're not?
Are we including Cleveland, Detroit? Like, you're talking the last 5 games.
Yeah, I'm including that whole stretch. I mean, the last the couple losses they had there were
Denver,
they played reasonably
Clippers.
well in those games.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Are they playing that? I got to think about that one, Whitey. Are they playing their best basketball? Well, here's the issue. And they may be. It seems like they play better when there's fewer guys that need the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
I don't know if I don't have the analytics or the data to back it up. I'm just talking. It just seems like DeMar, Zach, even Domas, those 3 actually fit in better. And then when you throw in Malik, sometimes it throws something off, And so, no, I could say over the last month, for sure, they're playing their best basketball.
Yeah, to your point, I noticed at the end of the game when reserves were in, and obviously the level of competition isn't as high, but the ball was moving. Players were, because it was more, not that anybody's selfish, but like you say, DeMar, especially, a lot starts with him, and Zach and Malik and Demonis, they need the ball. But when it's not them, it's like everyone's looking for Doug McDermott or something. Even Valanciunas is very unselfish.
Yeah.
There's more player movement and ball movement. Is that better? It's more fun to watch sometimes, but I don't know that it's the best way for this team to play with their best players. It's one of the things they're still figuring out.
Yeah, something I brought up during the broadcast with Katie yesterday is the ball movement, and it wasn't just ball movement, player movement also. It looked like they were actually running something instead of just give it to one person and let that person figure it out. They were actually running sets. And so, to your point, it may not be the most effective. We don't, we got to look at the numbers, but aesthetically, it's more eye-pleasing to see all that movement and action going on out there.
They had a play of Valanciunas at the high post, and you had McDermott cutting off one way, and he doesn't get the ball, and then he circles back out to the corner, and then Markelle Fultz comes the other way, gets the ball, and then throws the bounce pass to McDermott in the corner, and he knocks down the shot, and it's like,
they drew something up. Yeah, exactly. And so, no, it's I need to see more of that, because we know DeMar can score one-on-one. Zach can score one-on-one. Domas. But, man, when you got guys flying around, feeling like they're involved. Guy like Doug McDermott. I thought Keon too, did a good job in terms of just playing off the ball, maybe better than I've ever seen him yesterday. And so maybe that's the staple we see going forward with these guys.
Has Keon grown or something? I thought he was 6'3", and then
6'5", big fella.
He's 6'6" today at Basketball Reference. Oh, I kid you not.
No way.
Because Mike Wagaman wrote a story today, NBC Sports Authentic, and it's talking about Keon Ellis 6'6", and I was like, whoa.
6'6".
Michael's from Vallejo. He's my guy. And I thought, I don't think he's 6'6". I looked it up. Basketball Reference. He's 6'6".
I don't know about that.
I know, but it's like he's growing.
Right.
There was a time when not that long ago he was not listed at 6'6", right?
What is he listed on my notes? My note says he's 6'5".
Yeah.
My notes for yesterday's game says 6'5". What does NBA.com say? Do you know? Any idea?
I'm not sure.
I don't know what's going on with Basketball Reference, man. That might be one of those where Keon's people are like, yo, he's actually, list him at 6'6" for me.
Yeah.
So how about this, Whitey? Oh, this is terrible. Guess what he's listed on ESPN?
6'3".
6'4".
6'4". Yeah, okay.
So we got 6'4". My notes say 6'5". Basketball Reference says 6'6". Let me go to NBA.com real quick.
Next year he's going to be, at 6'9".
Right.
An outstanding defensive guard.
This is unbelievable. All right, Keon Ellis here.
And we love Keon Ellis. Nothing against Keon Ellis.
NBA.com 6'4".
Yeah.
That's a difference there. That's not anything negligible. 6'4" to 6'6", 2 inches means a lot.
Yeah.
So,
That just I was wondering about that. It caught my eye. Here's a question for you. Maybe you can answer when we come back, Drapes. Why not? This is from Diamond D at LBC. What's the drive guys, What's the drive guys level of interest in KD?
Oh, okay.
Really? Already we're starting? You should see the look Jay just gave me.
Did he lighten up or was he
No.
All right. Just sorry.
So can we get your answer to that?
Yeah, for sure.
KD on KD when we come back. Drive guys, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, athletics, and Republic FC with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com to join.
Spring is here, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, huge spring savings for you today.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter, right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, UC Davis, and Sac State with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com to join.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, Jay, you brought the Stockton Kings some good luck Friday.
You know what it is?
So you headed to Osceola tonight?
I might, man. I was thinking about jumping this PJ real quick, about 2:45-ish.
You brought them home. So it's game 3 tonight, right?
Game 3, 5 o'clock Pacific
Finals.
time, G League Finals. Man, and you guys were right there next to me a couple of weeks ago. Just a fun atmosphere. Sell out, 4,100, I believe, almost 4,200 fans, and they were showing up and showing out like it was Sacramento. Reminded me of a Kings game, a Sacramento Kings game, I should say, not a Kings game, because they are the Kings.
And who was it you said who dominated on X? Was it
Scal? Scal was out, man. Okay. I mean, Scal looked like an NBA player.
Yeah,
literally, he was. You can definitely tell he was separating himself from the rest of the squad and putting the squad on his back. He hit threes. He had a double clutch dunk that brought everybody to the rafters. He might have had about 3 or 4 blocks on defense, that led to fast breaks and easy points. D. Dennis had a couple of 3-pointers off of them. Elmo had a couple 3 more. Elmore, as I like to call him, Elmo, had a couple of 3-pointers. He was just doing it all, man. He looked like he really belonged. He was a G League All-Star, number 1, which he was, and he literally looked like you could tell like he's been in the league, the NBA.
Yeah, people excited. Kings fans excited about game 3 tonight. Also in the chat here from Rich Ficker, Dr. Diego sending greetings from Ocho Rios Bay Beach. Excited to fly home tomorrow, just in time for the play-in. Let's roll. Nice to see somebody excited about the game. It's a meaningful game, and I understand everything about the future. And but we got a game Wednesday, and maybe a game Friday, and maybe a trip to the playoffs. Lawrence Dubois, did you notice before the game, Sabonis and Plumlee fist bump? I think there's no hard feelings of the last time they met. Plumlee leveled them to the ground for a flagrant. Yeah, that's good to see.
Yeah, good to see. I didn't notice that fist bump, but there shouldn't be any kind of, bad blood or anything. I don't think it was anything malicious or anything.
Plumlee's the one that's got to go, I'm sorry, right?
Dude, did you see how bad Plumlee looked from the outside?
Left-handed.
The left-handed jumper.
Oh, look out below.
Poor guy, man. He had 2 air balls yesterday. I was like, ooh, I understand trying to, stretch the floor and everything, but, dude, that's not your game.
So, Drapes, how about it from Diamond D at LBC? What's the drive guy's level of interest in KD? And you don't have to answer.
No,
that's focusing on the task at hand. You don't even have to go there if you don't want.
I'm going to say 0.
Okay.
Like 0.
I'm with you.
I just think KD, still a hell of a player, but it didn't work out in Brooklyn, didn't work out in Phoenix. I don't think he puts us over the top anymore. To me, he's more of if you're really close, if you're Denver, somebody like that, people have mentioned OKC, maybe getting into the KD sweepstakes again, but I just don't think he puts us over the top right now. I mean, I think especially he's another aging guy. Like, what I'm interested in now is young up-and-coming players, not another aging superstar.
You don't want another aging guy who needs the ball a lot?
Nah. I just don't see it. I just don't.
And he's phenomenal, but I'm with you.
Right. How many more years does he have left? 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
You just never know at what point he's going to break down.
Right, exactly. So that's the big name out there right now, but I'll take a pass on that. Let me ask you this, though, and I think we're all in agreement. Do you agree also you taking a pass on KD?
Yes, definitely.
I
like KD a lot, but no.
I think we were all taking a pass on Jimmy Butler also. Worked out pretty well for Golden State. Are we having any second thoughts about that?
We'll see how they do in the play.
Well, we'll see.
We may see him Friday.
But record-wise,
I may get my wish.
Record-wise, they're pretty good, And so, could we have used a player like that on our team?
I don't think, in my opinion, we don't have enough stability in the culture to absorb a guy like that and have him go, all right, I'm on board with you guys.
I'm trying to fit in with what y'all got here.
Right.
No, you're right about that. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't win. I'm a Jimmy fan, like the way he plays, but you're right. He comes here, he absorbs everything. He becomes the culture, and I don't know how our guys would react to that.
Yeah. It was interesting to hear Doug talking about some of the things that he liked yesterday. The 31 assists stood out. And that is still the elephant in the room. Well, there's 2 of them with this team. One is defensively. They have to be better defensively. And I think over the last few games, their defensive numbers and defensive rating has been up, but it's just tricky in a small sample size to cherry pick. Over the last 3 games, they're top 10 or whatever. It's a positive sign, though. And then the other thing, as you were already saying, Drapes, it's just the ball movement and getting the ball and player movement. Sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not there. And when it's not there, it's hard to figure out exactly what to do about it with this team.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out, because to me, when you look at the ball movement or lack thereof, it means Zach's not getting the touches that he needs. It means Keegan's not getting the touches he needs. And when you have an offensive weapon like Zach LaVine out there, I think Zach is much better in space and movement, not just, standing in the corner, catch, all right, now do something. And so I think he benefits from a more of a motion kind of offense out there. And also, and there were times even yesterday I watched, we got to understand, DeMar is getting up there in age. Playing that style, a style he hasn't played, it's not who he is. And asking him all of a sudden to be moving every time, like I don't think that's realistic. And so we got this sort of, and we said it when he first came here. Like, the reason why I like DeMar coming here is for his ISO ability, is for his ability when the offense bogs down to give us something different. It just seems like right now, or most of the season, it's been either or. We haven't seen them both work in unison together.
Let me ask you about this. Sheena noticed this yesterday. I hadn't really thought about it, but then I thought, it's a good point. Before the game, the last home game of the regular season, somebody from the Kings went out to just say, hey, thanks for supporting us. It was Devin Carter. A little bit of an interesting choice, as my wife pointed out.
No, I feel like it's been rookies, though. A lot of places do rookies. I think it was Keegan a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I think with the Kings, usually it's a rookie. Last year, it might even been Kobe Jones last year.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's just something that
that's
they
on
do.
me. I should have told her, it's always rookies.
Right. Yeah. I think with our organizations, it's mostly rookies. And so, you give them a chance to get out there and be front and center and everything like that. Like, think about it. It's never been De'Aaron Fox or Domantas Sabonis. Like, it's never been the guys. And so I think it's really been rookies since I've been here.
I know there are a lot of things about the Kings you can look at and go, gee, I don't know about that, and I'm not sure about the offseason. I will say this. I think one bright spot, some people may disagree, but I think Devin Carter's been a real bright spot this year, the second half of the year.
Really? Okay.
I don't think he's, it's not like, he's going to be all rookie, but Doug really is. You can tell the way he talks about him. They rely on him, and he's playing hard, and his offensive game is still a work in progress. Of course, this whole game is, but he plays tough. I think he embodies the type of approach that Doug Christie wants the whole team to embrace.
Yeah, and he's showing us what Monty and those guys saw in him at Providence. I don't know if he'll ever be, all-star caliber, but to me, and this is something we talked about a couple of weeks ago, can he be our Derek White or somebody like that eventually down, in his career? Can he be a Drew Holiday type? Not saying as good as Drew, but that kind of physical defender, hustle guy that occasionally can score buckets, And so I do see there is something there regarding Devin Carter. And to your point, I do feel like when he's gotten some time and gotten some rhythm, he has shown some things. It took a while, I feel like, to get started, but no, he's been solid. He's been solid.
Dividing Zeros in the chat says, my head says we want the Grizzlies, but my heart says give us the Warriors so we can end their chances yet again. First of all, you got to beat Dallas.
Yeah, exactly.
We know that. We all know that. But after that, well, you know how I feel about it.
Yeah, you want the Warriors matchup. You want that. I don't know, man. I just feel like the Warriors, even though they had they know who they are now. Like, Memphis, is dealing with drama, turmoil out there. I don't know if I want to see them. I mean, talking about Golden State.
Right.
And Steph Curry in one game, you ain't got Klay Thompson to go 0 for 1,000, and so I don't know if I want that. And if we lose, Bonte called me the other day.
Really?
Yes, Friday when we were losing to the Clippers, him and Chris Mullin. I'm like, man, I'm not answering that. So I don't know if I can have an off season of trash talk from those guys.
Yeah, but just look at the other side of that coin. Amidrock, by the way, in the chat says, yes, Drapes. I believe we're talking about Devin Carter. He can be that guy. The front office and ownership need to develop stability with the team, especially with the player and roster. Devin Carter is just one of many that have talent.
Okay.
But I think the larger point, if I understood you correctly, you're just saying he's not going to be like, oh, what a great pick he was. He's an all-star. I don't think he could be that, but that's not what I see him becoming. But a really good, solid rotational player with, what was he, 12th pick?
13th
pick.
13th, yeah.
I'll take that.
Right.
That does a lot of things for you.
Right, exactly. And he's going to turn into one of those players that every team could use.
Yeah.
Coming off the bench, good sixth man, kind of a disruptor out there. And I like the pick. And we also got to remember, he ain't even have an off season or a camp or anything. Like, he's learning on the fly, so to say. Going into his second year, I expect bigger things from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to need Kings to get a little healthier, aren't we? I don't know what the deal is with Malik. At this point, I'm assuming, we'll have to reevaluate if the Kings get in the playoffs, but it's not looking great. I heard some things yesterday that suggest Jake might not be ready till the playoffs.
Yeah.
At the earliest, maybe.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed they're able to muddle through here a little short-handed through the play-in tournament.
Yeah. Can we get through with what we have right now, you think, with Dallas?
Yeah, I would say yes, because Carter's playing well and because your guy Trey Lyles is playing so well.
My guy Trey Lyles been telling people, and I said it a couple of weeks ago, Whitey, Trey Lyles to me plays better the more minutes he gets.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a spot guy come in and have an immediate impact. He needs to work up a lather out there, work up a sweat, and he's been playing fantastic. And so, no, I think we can get through Dallas. Memphis is going to be tough, man. I think we're kind of, underappreciating Memphis, overlooking them a little bit.
Oh, I know that they're very talented. They've just had so many issues that they're dealing with. I'm hoping some of that might drag them down. They've had a lot of injuries too.
So have we.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They're like they're a carbon copy of us, minus trading their best player.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it. And so I am afraid of Memphis, to be honest with you. I think they're going to be a tough matchup, just because I do think when you look at Desmond Bane, sort of the edge that he plays with. I'm looking at it right here, Whitey. They finished 8 games ahead of us.
Oh, I know.
And had turmoil and everything. Like, are we not respecting Memphis the way we should? They finished the same record as Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, including me, thinks, that'd be an easier matchup. I don't know, man.
I respect him. I'm just
tough.
trying to find reasons to be optimistic going forward.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And they do have they have had some issues. Jaren Jackson Jr. getting foul trouble. Kings have played well against them this year, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. But they've never been whole, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
It's they had the one game where Ja got ejected that first. He only had like 8 points. I don't know. I worry about Memphis, because here's why I think Memphis is in a better position than Dallas in terms of their coaching change. I think the players like this. Who's the coach of Memphis again?
Tuomas Isalo.
I think the players, it's almost like Doug Christie. Doug moves to the front. Oh, the players are like, yeah, this is our guy. I feel like that to an extent with Memphis. And so I'm a little worried about that matchup if it gets to that point.
Are we going to get some of us have a warrior wish. Is that wish going to come true? What does the rest of the play-in and playoff picture look like? We're back with that next. Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo. Presented by Rocks Tech with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Michelob Ultra and Carl's Jr. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
I think we feel good. The last couple of games, we've been playing some good basketball, playing some good teams, some playoff teams. So the effort and energy and our focus, everything is there, But some games we come up with wins, some games we haven't. But I think everything's there for us in those games.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Keon Ellis, 6'6", Keon Ellis. He's 6'6" now. Good for him. Yeah, I'll have what he's having.
Grew overnight. Huh?
Yeah, yes. We were talking a few moments ago about Plumlee's ill-advised three-pointer from the corner. Somebody posted that on X, and I just saw it again, and I didn't realize he dribbled. Maybe he didn't mean to, but he dribbled between his legs before he shot that.
Okay, so he was trying to get in his bag a little bit, huh?
There was nothing in the bag. Nothing in the bag.
No fries at the bottom, huh? No fries at the bottom.
No. So here we go, getting ready for the play-in tournament starting tomorrow. And then the playoffs. Any of these first-round matchups, taking the Kings out of it for a moment, Drapes?
Okay.
Anything getting you really excited? I'm looking forward to Nuggets-Clippers.
Oh, that's going to be a heavyweight matchup.
Yeah.
You're talking about some star power there.
Yes.
And somebody's going to be done after the first round, which is crazy.
50-win teams in the first round.
That's crazy.
4 and 5, both 50-win teams.
Yeah, that's crazy. That has 7 written all over it. Tightly contested games. I wouldn't want to see the Clippers right now. They're playing some great basketball. That's going to be tough for Denver. Denver could be ousted first round, Whitey.
Yeah. And the Clippers, they're exceeding expectations, aren't they? Which is strange with as much money as they spent on that roster and some of the big names, but they did not meet or they were not facing the expectations that some of the other teams in the West were this year.
Right. And I don't think anybody expected Kawhi Leonard to come back and play as great as he has and be available the second half of the season. And give their front office some credit, Lawrence Frank and those guys. Some of the moves they made this offseason, like Derek Jones Jr., Chris Dunn, like those have panned out and played out well for them right now.
And let's give credit to Ivica Zubac.
Yes.
He's having a great year.
His growth. Yeah. He could be an all-NBA kind of guy.
Wow.
What kind of year he's had, too. There's some, I think Windhorst was saying Zubac. No, he said James Harden is getting an all-NBA vote. Wow. Who knew? Right?
Yeah. I was trying to figure it out Friday. I still haven't figured out how a team with James Harden playing heavy minutes can be as good defensively as the Clippers are. But that's 5 stars, 5-star series. How about
the 3-seed Lakers against the 6-seed Minnesota Timberwolves.
Would Shannon Sharp say OKC, KFC, USC, Lakers at 5? No, I think that's going to be a good series. I got Lakers at 6 in that one. I think Ant's going to have a couple of huge games, but I can't see Luka and LeBron losing to. They got too much firepower, man. They got too much experience also. Too much high basketball IQ on that Lakers team. I got Lakers at 6.
It's a Julius Randle revenge series.
Former Laker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. That's Randle. He might get exposed, Whitey. He might get exposed. I just don't see him being consistent in a high-level series when you got LeBron and Luka. That's 2 guys who can take over a game at any time.
Yeah, Minnesota, I think they peaked last year. We'll see. In the East, the 4-seed Pacers against the 5-seeded Bucks. I'll be honest, there's the action in the West and the matchups are so exciting. Pacers, Bucks, if it's on, I'll watch it, but it just doesn't do much for me.
That don't do much for you. They got some beef, though. I know they got some history.
Halliburton.
Yeah, Giannis. That's big time. I think that's a big time matchup, but it's not the same. I get it. The Eastern Conference matchups, although that other Eastern Conference matchup has the opportunity to be really spicy.
Yes. Knicks, Pistons. I like that. I'm going to be pulling for the Pistons big time.
Tell me why.
Just the whole underdog factor for them to do what they've done after the miserable seasons they've had the last few. Never been a big Knicks fan. I want to see Cade and company take care of business.
No, I'm with you. I think the Pistons are one of the best stories in the league this year. I like their style, the way they play. Love Cade Cunningham. And I think it's going to be a physical series. You know, you're looking at Cat against Beef Stew out there. That should be interesting. No, but I'm going with Pistons in that one. I think they're a young up-and-comer. And they arguably, Whitey, this might be blasphemous. They arguably have the best player in that series. Is Cade ahead of Brunson yet?
I think so.
Dang,
the way he's played this year.
Okay.
Now, people in New York would never say that because Brunson has that knack for elevating his game when the lights are brightest, and we don't know about that with Cade yet. The Celtics, the 2-seed, will play. Well, they'll play the winner of the Magic Hawks game.
Snoozer.
I like both those teams, though. I think Orlando's going to win. The Hawks were beginning of the year my surprise team, but 8-seed, 40-42. And then Cavaliers 64-18 will play. Either the Bulls, the Heat, the Magic, or the Hawks. But how about in the West here, Kings and Mavericks, Drapes? I think most fans, I could be wrong, I think most Kings fans are assuming the Kings are going to win that game. Should we not assume that?
We shouldn't assume that, and here's why, Sacramento Kings fans. On paper, yes, but we never know which guys show up for us. We never know which Kings team is going to show up. I mean, you couldn't tell me that we would lose in Washington. You couldn't tell me.
Oh, but that was a wake-up call.
That was the way. All right. Oh, okay.
That was the wake-up call.
But that's the thing. It's like, we should beat Dallas. AD, he's never healthy. Sabonis usually eats him for lunch. I don't know, man. Klay Thompson, we're counting out.
It's kind of sad watching Klay now.
Yeah.
Shadow of his former self. Do we even have any idea whether Anthony Davis is playing, and if he does, if he's anything close to Anthony Davis?
No, AD's good to go, big fella.
Yeah,
I'll pull up his numbers right now. He's been playing well. I know he had a subpar game against the Lakers in that Luka return game, but no, he's check this out. Anthony Davis becomes the first player in NBA history to record 23 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists, and 7 blocks. That was against the Raptors on Friday. And so, dude, AD's a problem. He's a problem.
Yeah. Yes. But they didn't play him yesterday. They didn't
play anybody.
Yeah.
They didn't play Lively didn't play. Klay Thompson didn't play. For some reason, I don't know. They didn't want home court advantage.
They thought rest was more important than.
Yeah, I was shocked by that.
And then the Warriors and the Grizzlies. I think the Warriors are going to win that game, Drapes. And I'm not disrespecting the Grizzlies, but the Warriors have been stumbling of late, even at home.
No, they got some problems, man. And I know you're not. I don't think you're a huge Kuminga fan, But for him to get a DNP CD, not even play,
Mm-hmm.
like out of the rotation, giving him the Jason Tatum treatment, like I don't know, man. That has the opportunity to really blow up out there in Golden State.
So the winner of that game, Warriors-Grizzlies, will play the Rockets. And then, of course, we'll have the Thunder against Kings, Mavericks, Warriors, or Grizzlies. And I know we keep saying this, and I don't think I'm not trying to talk myself into it. I see from the Kings standpoint a reasonable shot at getting there. And I know if you get to the first round against OKC, they've been historically good this year. That's not a great matchup. But I would think fans would get a little bit excited about an actual playoff series once again if they get that far.
So what's your why do you feel so confident or feel good about is it because a potential Dallas and then Memphis matchup you think we can handle?
Potentially. Yeah. The Dallas game, I think they should win. As you said, as you pointed out with the Kings this year, you can't assume anything.
Right.
You never know. But they have played well against the Grizzlies. And I just think they got a really good shot at winning that game, even though obviously it would be in Memphis.
I feel like
Kings play better. You said yourself, right? They're better on the road sometimes.
That's why I'm worried about Wednesday. I mean, think about it. Our road record and home record is exactly the same, which is unheard of regarding a good team in the NBA. But here's the thing, Whitey. What I'm worried about is, for the most part, other than the OKCs of the world, it's not about the Kings' opponent. It really isn't. It's about, will the Kings show up or not? We've seen them play at a high level against really good teams. Cleveland, Detroit is a good team. We've seen them play good. But then we've also seen them bottom out and lose to teams that they should beat. Remember, San Antonio kicked our butts earlier in the season, first two meetings that we had with them. And so the question is, which Sacramento team is going to show up? And I'll go back to what we saw in that Washington game. And I understand that was a wake-up call and everything, but it shouldn't have been. They knew what was at stake.
Yes.
They knew the how big that game was, and they came out and laid an egg. Same thing with the Wednesday. They know how big this game is come Wednesday. It shouldn't be about who they match up with. Is the team going to show up or not?
Mm-hmm. The guy that worries me about Memphis, again, that's assuming that it comes to that. And I know Ja's phenomenal, and I'm a Ja fan. But you remember the last time the Grizzlies were here and Ja didn't play, Desmond Bane at 44.
Yeah.
He was 7 of 7 from the three-point line. So if it comes to that, I think he scares me because the Kings have had such a hard time defending the three-point line. He scares me more than anybody else on that team. And Jaren Jackson Jr. obviously is a phenomenal player.
Well, think about it. What's your matchups? You probably got Keon on Ja, who you got guarding Desmond Bane.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a Zach LaVine matchup? And does Bane get cooking out there? And
Right.
I think they're a little deeper too than people like.
Oh, they're very deep because when they had Taylor Jenkins, they were playing a
bunch
such a
of
pace. Everybody had to play.
Yeah, but like a guy like Santi Aldama is a solid player for Memphis. They got some talent, man. And I'm what's interesting. I'm looking at their leading scores just game by game. I'm not going to count the Sunday game because guys rested. You got Bane, Morant, Bane, Morant. Ja's playing at an unbelievable level right now. And I think for him, it's an opportunity to remind people why he was on track to be the face of the league. He might be taking things personally right now. And so I think it's going to be a tough matchup if we get to that point.
I think the biggest drawback for Memphis is something you pointed out Friday, if I'm not mistaken, and that's no Jalen Wells.
Yeah, that hurts.
He'd probably
him.
be
That
guarding
hurts him.
Steph.
Yeah.
They don't have him.
Yeah, that hurts him.
And hopefully he's going to be fine. That could have been worse, obviously, but they're really going to miss him.
How about this, Whitey? Speaking of Memphis, and I know they rested a lot of guys, Zach Edey, Santi Aldama,
right?
Ja. Old friend Marvin Bagley III. Did you see his stat line?
Was it 25 and 12?
25 and 12.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I did
Marvin
see that.
Bagley's getting 25 and 12 in 2025. I'm just shocked to see that right now.
Yeah. I almost posted last night, Vlade's a genius,
Right.
and then put the numbers on it. No,
He's
I'm
on
not even-
that, yeah.
I'm not even going there. When we come back, the A-Stay in Sacramento continues to grab attention for some of the wrong reasons. Next, Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At SMUD, we power local business with incentives on clean energy equipment, tools to manage electricity usage and save money, tailored solutions from dedicated strategic account advisors, and 50% lower rates than neighboring utilities, all while doing more for the planet with clean energy solutions, savings, reliability, personalized service, clean energy, helping local businesses thrive. That's our clean power promise. Learn more at smud.org.
Get in on the action at Sky River Casino. With over 80 table games, the hottest slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room, you'll enjoy a casino experience on a whole new level. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's Carmichael Dave talking to you about my good friends at American Energy. You're in the Sacramento area. You know how the seasons work. They are a-changing right now. So American Energy wants to help you stay warm for the rest of the cold season, but help you stay cool during the warm season. Best way to do that, make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of half off a tune-up, $24.50. They cut that right in half, and if you want a diagnostic, guess what? You can't beat free. If it's free, it's me, and now it can be you. And also, it's the end of the season blowout. $4,000 off a new system plus any rebates. That $4,000, that's a direct drop from the sticker price. It's a great deal. Check them out at theaeway.com or an instant quote, or give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Oh, wow, honey, I love it. It's so beautiful and so sparkly.
Just like you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
I'll wear it every day. It goes with everything.
This Mother's Day, wow Mom with spirit-lifting, outfit-making, express your love jewelry. Shop jtv.com/mom for wow-worthy and budget-friendly styles.
I'm never taking it off.
Another wow factor? Sign up for JTV Text and get $30 off. If she loves jewelry, she'll love JTV.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all day freshness.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Now, Drapes and Jay, do I have to keep an eye on you guys today since your two teams are going head-to-head with the Phillies hosting Jay's Giants? Do I gotta be careful of...
Why are you trolling right now?
I'm rooting for the Phillies.
I was like, oh, me and Jay on the same side for once, right? How about that? That same side.
Giants are playing well. By the way, the Las Vegas A's of West Sacramento are 2-7 at home. And I know a lot of people have said, fans can't get behind it because they're not winning games. The A's are a young team that's coming around. they've played at home. They played the Cubs, who are in first place in their division in the National League. Then they played the Padres, who are in first place in their division. Then they played the Mets, who are in first place in their division. Now you could say, well, that's why all those teams are first place, because they played the A's. The A's are not to the level of any of those teams yet. All right. I think they're going to play the White Sox now. They go on the road, and I think after a few games against the White Sox, we'll start saying, oh, they're coming around. They're starting to play better. This has been a really tough schedule to this point. That's all I'm saying.
So you're making some excuses there.
No, it's like I'm not surprised they're 2-7 playing against the Cubs and the Padres and the Mets. That's all I'm saying.
The problem is, and I hear what you're saying. They haven't been competitive in these games, Whitey. I think I'm looking at the numbers. Third worst run differential in the league.
Well, that's just because that first game when
they gave it like 30 to 1 or something.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, but that game
what was
did
last night? What was 8-0 or something? 8-1, something like that. No, you're giving them some grace. And dude, it's 16 games in.
Yeah,
it's hard to truly tell. I will say this though, and I know to your point, they've been playing some of the best teams, but teams that are coming in here are just mashing.
Yeah, the pitching is an issue with A's.
Yeah, it's just mashing. And look, I'm looking at the runs against, and I know they gave up 1 billion that first. Looks like, are they dead last in runs allowed in the league? 89 through 16 games. Yeah. That's pretty bad, Whitey.
That is.
That's pretty bad.
That is.
So let's look at the schedule then.
Uh-huh.
Because you said they got the White Sox coming up.
Yeah, that's on the road for them. Or they?
Yeah, that's starting tomorrow at the White Sox.
Right.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
And so that should lighten things up with after that. Who else they got here, Whitey? I'm looking right now. Milwaukee. How the Brewers doing?
They're kind of struggling a little bit.
Okay. Texas, home against Texas. And then home against Chicago. White Sox again.
Right.
Yeah. So to your point,
get out the Brewers.
Yeah, right. Let's and then Texas again. What's up with the schedule, man?
I saw an editorial in the Bee today, sacbee.com, and I love the Bee.
Yeah.
Support the Bee. My dad was a newspaperman. We know a lot of people there, and they're great writers and great people. That said, I really disagreed strongly with this editorial. It's like Sacramento has to get behind this team. And I feel like that's just not our problem right now. They have the powers that be that are putting this on have to compel us to come out, and not calling themselves Sacramento just gave fans one more reason to say, yeah, I don't know. But then so much of it has been so slipshod, and they had an episode Saturday, which I did not see, read about today, and I sent it to you guys, where Jose Siri, I think, got hurt for the Mets. And, at Sutter Health Park, for players to go to the clubhouse, they've got to go through the outfield. You can't just go back underneath the dugout. So they sent 2 golf carts out, and one of the golf carts loads up Jose Siri and takes him out to the clubhouse. The second one ran out of gas before it got off the field, and they had to push it through between the boards of the fence. And it's like, you just can't do that. What are we doing? That's like Harry High School stuff.
That's what people are saying outside of Sacramento, though, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying when you look at the press conference area, you look at what happened. They're like, see?
Right.
Major League Baseball shouldn't be in a town in a park like that.
But it bothers me a little that some people may look at that and go, Sacramento's not ready. We don't have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, somebody, whether it's in Sacramento or Timbuktu or New York City, somebody has to know, hey, we got to have enough gas in the golf cart to get it off the field. But it makes us look bad.
No, but I'll push back on that, fellas. We've had baseball here. It's not like this is our first baseball team ever.
I agree.
Whether it's the River Cats game or single A, it don't matter. That shouldn't happen.
I agree.
So we can't blame that on the Athletics, can we?
But is that the River Cats Sacramento workforce, or is that the A's workforce?
I think they share a lot of things,
and that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that part of? Let me say
it
this.
It looks like we
for
don't
me,
know.
That's part of the problem.
It might be.
Yeah. Which is, I said that, I can't remember you here, Drapes, is that's for me, you have to come in and set the line, like draw your line in the sand and say, these are River Cats employees, these are A's employees. I've said it before, and I've looked 100 times. I didn't see the A's hold any job fair here in Sacramento at all. Not one. I haven't seen a lot of people that have worked for the River Cats crossover or throw their name in the hats as A's employees. I haven't seen any of that yet.
No, because I think it's been absorbed by the River Cats and the Kings employees.
But see, I think that's it. It's the Kings employees, not the River Cats employees. I think the River Cats and the Kings haven't shared, and the A's haven't shared that many employees. I believe it's the Kings employees.
I know that people going to the game, and I went myself, you have a good time. It does have the atmosphere is not what you'd expect at a major league game, but it's fun. So that's not the issue. When little things like this happen, when the media shed gets so much national attention, it bothers me because I feel like people go, look at Sacramento. And they think they want a team. And it's like,
I got nothing to do with that
our fault.
city.
Yeah.
Whose fault is it then?
Stays, man.
Whoever
the league, MLB.
But what I'm trying to say is that the infrastructure of the A's now is the Kings. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, well, that's a different conversation to have.
Yeah.
Be careful there, Mr. Draper.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's,
but that's why I say, I think, and I'll just use it as the form of what you're looking at the surface. As a commissioner of Sacramento, I try and pay attention to everything that's popping off. The River Cats, Stockton, Reno, they had a career fair, job fair. That I know of because a couple of people had told me they were going out there. I'm like, okay, cool. I've looked at the A's open positions since they've coming to Sacramento. I've yet to see -4 different spots. Like if you go to their website right now, I believe they're hiring for PR, like communications team, 1 or 2 positions. That was it. I haven't seen them host. Like you need your own staff. You need your own people over there. I haven't seen that.
It's, to me, who's to blame? Well, baseball's to blame. The A's are to blame.
MLB.
Anybody who's looking at any of these things to make you go, wait, whoever decided, yeah, we're good. That'll work. It's like, my goodness. I think that's, I feel like Sacramento's being taken advantage of in a way.
By the way, looking bad, man.
Tony Ray Harvey says that the White Sox aren't that bad. Actually, it's Amadrox. Says my Red Sox barely beat the White Sox. I know my team's a good squad. Not sure the Shy Sox are that bad. Yeah, the White Sox are 4-11, I think, Amadrox. So, yeah, maybe they look good when you saw them. But I think the A's have an opportunity to turn things around. So that's all I'm saying, Drapes. And I know this is really difficult. We know some people that work out there, and they're working their fingers to the bone, and they're good people, and they're kind of overworked. But it just, when things happen, like, we had the Mets broadcast on Saturday, and was it Keith Hernandez and the other guy? And the other guy's saying, well, when this happened in the minors, we would say there's a reason why we call this the minor leagues. And it's just so avoidable. It's like in basketball when you throw me the ball and you throw it over my head, an unforced turnover.
Right.
And I feel like we're making too many of those so far. That's all, Jay. Too many unforced
I'm with
errors.
you. I also second the fact that people tend to put labels and tags on the things. And I think meaning the city of Sacramento, is getting the tag and the label as we can't handle certain things, when in reality, it's really not the city of Sacramento. I'm pretty sure if you ask the people of Sacramento, whoever that needs to be, I don't know who that needs to be, but I'm pretty sure they probably would have a different plan than what has happened.
On the other hand, if you can sit out there, I was looking at over the weekend, I was watching one of the games on TV. You sit out there for, I know some of the games have been like $12, bring a lawn chair, sit in the lawn, watch Major League Baseball. Let's do that.
Right.
That's not bad.
Yeah. And I still haven't checked it out. I'll check it out here in a couple of weeks. Maybe that White Sox series when they come to town, take the kids. But by all accounts, from people I've talked to, why have you been out there? The actual, when you're at the game, it's pretty good. It's pretty entertaining.
It's fun.
It's
we had
fun.
a fun, good time.
Exactly.
Yeah. When we come back, a salute to the player who may have saved this Kings season. Next to the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
So, your small business is outgrowing your garage. You could go online, find a space, and get catfished. Or you could work with an agent who's a realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Bring the whole family to Sutter Health Park for Sacramento River Cats baseball. It's more than a game, it's an experience your kids will never forget. Enjoy exciting action on the field, delicious ballpark food, and fun activities for all ages. From meeting Dinger the mascot to running the bases every Sunday, there's something for everyone. Create lasting memories with your family this season. Get your tickets at rivercats.com.
Save $12,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Silverado 1500 LT at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. After all rebates.
And Maida Chevy still has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area.
With $12,000 off new Silverado exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
5 savings must trade in 2011 or newer. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The word "for" has been used in golf for centuries, and its origins can be traced to the Middle Ages. According to historians, the word "for" is derived from the Old English word meaning before or in front of. In those days, the term was used to warn people of incoming arrows during archery practice. Another theory suggests that "for" has military connections. During the 19th century, artillery officers would yell "for" to warn their troops of incoming shells. This practice may have carried over to golf. The most popular theory, however, is that "for" has Scottish roots. In Scotland, "for-caddy" was used to describe a person who walked ahead of the golfers to spot where their ball landed. The for-caddy would then yell "for" to warn the golfers if their ball was heading towards another golfer or a spectator. Today, "for" is used to warn golfers or spectators of an errant shot. Whether it's derived from the Middle Ages, military practice, or Scottish roots, "for" has become an integral part of the game of golf, and now you know why. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
You may know that I'm a Monty guy, Monty McNair. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if Monty wants to stay here. I hope he stays here. And I think he's done a better job than he's given credit for in many corners. I know Drapes, there's somebody, Jake Fisher, I believe it was, I'm not positive, recently wrote that NBA GMs all say, the Kings didn't get enough for De'Aaron Fox. And I think that a lot of people who say that, you can make that point about any trade if you wish, but I think people are overlooking how many second-round picks Monty got on that deal, and with some of those second-round picks, he ended up getting, Jonas Valanciunas, who has been a really, really key acquisition this year.
So there we go. So you got to look at it in its totality.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
Yes, because he got how many second rounders? They got like 6 or something.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Oh, they didn't get enough first rounders. They got a ton of second rounders and actually converted some of that already into a player without whom I don't know that we'd be talking about the play-in.
No, because you got to look at the time that Domas missed, too, in which JV filled in and did an admirable job. And so when you look at the totality of the trade deadline, you get Zach LaVine, you get Jake LaRavia, you get Valanciunas. Like, those 3 guys for De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, and Kobe Jones. And you got additional picks coming up.
Yeah.
Like, you got to look at it in that respect. And so I'm with you on that. You can't just, I don't think, look at that De'Aaron Fox trade as Zach LaVine and picks, because you got to see what those picks turn into, to your point. And JV's one of those players.
Yeah. Now, I know some people say, well, they'd be better off without Valanciunas because they'd be better off not in the play-in. But, I don't see it that way. I understand that point. I'm glad that we have more basketball. Maybe we might have, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
2 more games and then we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe. Hopefully. It's like when I was thanking the PR staff yesterday. Hopefully we got at least one more game, but thank you for everything, because we'll see. But I like the position the Kings are in. I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about big picture. We'll get to all that. Right now, I'm excited that they have a game at home on Wednesday.
I'm also, I went into, we knew they were going to be in the 9th seed or 10th seed at least going into yesterday's game. But even after yesterday, it felt kind of like we made it through 82. Now, whatever happened that first 82, flush it down the toilet, hit the reset button. You got the postseason now. You still have a chance to get to the playoffs. And so I'm with you. I'm happy there's more games. Talking to the staff behind the scenes, some of the ushers and security people and everything, they're happy.
Yeah.
They're glad it's not over. It's another day of working for them, too. We got to think about that. So, I'm looking forward to Wednesday, man.
Yeah, I know a couple of guys asked Coach Christie after the game yesterday about, do you look back now on the season and, are you grateful to be in the play and things like that?
Yeah.
And he just consistently shook his head and said, no, we haven't done anything yet. We want to win. I'm greedy. I want to win, which is the right answer. You don't go, oh, thank goodness. We're in we clinched the 9 seed. As a coach or player, you don't say that. But obviously he's been talking about not the play-in, but the playoffs for weeks now. And I would think if this team gets into the playoffs proper, even if they play OKC and it doesn't go well, I think everybody, Monty, all the coaches, Doug, they deserve raises getting through this. All of this.
But then you lose your pick, Whitey.
Oh, you're right.
Never mind.
Get rid of everybody. Get rid of everyone. Well, that's the mandate. No matter what you think or I think, that's been the mandate from ownership, right? Is we want to be in the playoffs this year.
Right.
That's what they're supposed to be focused on. And they're this close to having accomplished that through some unbelievable turmoil.
No, I 100% agree with you. This season was spiraling, let alone 40 and 42. We were on pace for like 34 wins, 35. We were struggling at the time Mike Brown was fired. And then to have the upheaval, the roster upheaval, the turnover that we had. When you think about it too, and I was driving in thinking about this, Whitey, we're in the same exact seed we were last year. Ignore the record. You could argue this season was just like last year. We're 9th seed. And so a chance to actually do something. You could argue if you win 2 games here, this season is better than last season.
Yeah, because you made the playoffs.
Right, you made the playoffs, which would be crazy, considering everything this team went through.
But I don't think we're even talking about that if they hadn't acquired Jonas Valanciunas and he hadn't played as well as he did this year.
Yeah, and a lot of fans give them some credit. They were screaming for JV, and I didn't know how great of a team guy he was, and I should have saw it. If he was coming off the bench and A-OK in Washington, he'd be that way here. he's been fantastic, man. He's been phenomenal. A leader in the locker room, a leader out on the floor. Give us some strength and size that we need. Don't have to play Domas 40 minutes a night. Like, you could argue he's one of the MVPs of this season. Like you said, saved this season this year.
Yeah. And if you look at his per 36, I mean, he's put up really solid numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a starting caliber center, would you say, in this league? Yeah.
And you have him. It's not like he's gone this offseason, right? Unless you decide to.
Yeah. What do you got?
Him.
2 more years?
Yeah.
Because he signed a 3-year, $30 million. So yeah, he's here. Like, the center position is set. It's locked with him and Domas. And that's something we couldn't say, the last couple of years.
I don't know. What I hear is Domas wants to go to management this offseason, Drapes, and he wants to know what the direction of the franchise is. So who knows?
Whitey, don't bring it. We trying to enjoy right now. That'll come after the season.
Don't you think, if we're being honest here, which is what we do?
Yeah, I'm always.
That good part of that, if it happens, will come down to what's going on with Doug. And if Doug's there, Domas will probably say, yeah, I want to be here. That's the way I think it'll go down. What do I know? But that's the way I anticipate it'll go down. If they were like, we don't know about Coach Christie, we might go this way, that way, maybe then Domas would have an issue. But I think they're likely to keep Doug Christie. I think they should keep Doug Christie. And I think if they do, I think Domas is going to be on board too. That's just my sense.
I'm going to let it play out. I want to see how it all plays out, because it might be bigger things at play here regarding Domas.
Coach Budenholzer became available today.
No thanks. Don't want him. I know he's a champion level coach and everything, but no interest there. No interest there.
All right. So you don't want to speculate.
I'm gonna let it play out, Whitey. I'm not gonna play the speculation game, because here's the thing. Before De'Aaron Fox got traded, before Mike Brown got fired, there was some small rumblings, but after Mike gets fired, now you're hearing 3 players went to management and told them they wanted Mike. And so I need everything to play out, and then things will start to come out.
We know who those 3 players were.
Right.
Yeah. Don't you think on any team, I'm not trying to, downplay what happened this year with all the turmoil with the Kings. We've never seen anything like it. So it is a big thing. I'm not saying it wasn't. But I don't think it would be hard to go to just about any NBA team and find 3 guys who will tell you, I can't stand the coach. I want him out.
Oh, that happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
That's nothing new. That happens all the time. I mean, we see it, with Phoenix. We see it, obviously, with Memphis. I could argue some look at Steve Kuminga might be saying that right now about Steve Kerr.
He probably is. I'd be surprised if he's not.
Right. So it happens all over the league.
Yeah. I saw something today somewhere. These things drive me crazy. I forget what site it was, but you have people now, then they just throw out trade ideas. And this one was Kuminga for Zach LaVine. But the way it's written, they have the pictures and it says Warriors could trade Kuminga for a $40 million player. And it makes it, you look at it, it's like, oh, what's going on? Well, nothing's going on. It's just somebody spitballing.
Somebody on their couch at home.
Or they'll say it's projected. Kings projected to trade this guy, that guy. They're not projected anymore than just some guy going, I don't know, this could happen. You got to be careful.
Yeah, you do. And the thing is, so much, false information or that, and then it gets picked up and aggregated and becomes a story.
Right.
That's what you got to be careful of.
With the Kings pondering off-season changes, 2 more accomplished names hit the open market today. Could they be in the Kings' plans? We'll look at that when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, there's nothing more exciting for a team than to see the potential of a number 1 pick come to fruition. Now, we know it's early, it's just after 11 games, but Tyler Soderstrom from Turlock High was number 3 in the American League in batting at .381 and tied for first in homers with 6, and Jacob Wilson, number 4 in batting at .366. Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business with reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solution, and Wi-Fi backup. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. For details on special offers, including free professional installation and up to a $500 Visa prepaid card on qualifying internet bundles, log on to business.comcast.com. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body?
Huh?
That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Yeah, it's been a lot of ups and downs. A lot of things happened in 1 year. And like you said, we ended up getting 40. It's not the number we wanted or the seed we wanted. But I feel like we're playing our best basketball these last 6, 7 games, 8 games, and we got to use that momentum into the plains.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
He lit the beam yesterday, Domantas Sabonis. This is from Chris Watkins, our buddy Chris Watkins on X. This is 4 hours ago. And Chris pointed out that Domantas Sabonis is the 8th player in NBA history to lead the league in rebounding for 3 consecutive seasons. The others, Andre Drummond, Dwight Howard, Kevin Garnett, Dennis Rodman, Moses Malone, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bill Russell. So
Top 5 big in the game.
that's a pretty illustrious list. The thing with Domas, and another reason why I hope the Kings reach the postseason, is Domas still has that nagging postseason question mark hanging over his head. He hasn't played as well in the postseason. And that's just a fact. And I think it would be great to see him address that again. And I know against OKC, tall order, but he's played well against them. I mean, tall order in terms of the Kings winning the series, who knows? But I would like to see him put a dent in that reputation in the postseason, because otherwise it's just gonna linger, Drapes.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how did he do last year in the play-in games.
The play-in, I'd have to look it up.
Did he struggle? I know a lot of people go back to that Warriors series. I think, well, the whole narrative is you can't win with him, right? And so, to your point, I'd like to see him, obviously get through this play-in and then actually have a good series against OKC.
Yes,
you may not win that series, but go out there and average like 22 and 15 and 8 or something like that. Be dominant out there. And so, no, it's a knock on him right now. That a label that people based off of that one Warriors series.
Well, and it's also based on some of his struggles when he was with the Pacers. He didn't play especially well in the postseason. Domas, by the way, we mentioned this earlier. Drapes had this yesterday. I just saw it today. This just blows me away. Domas has led the NBA in double-doubles for 3 straight seasons, joining Wilt Chamberlain, Kevin Garnett, Moses Malone, and George Mikan.
George Mikan.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Who might have led the league in double-doubles more often, but I know at least one of his years they didn't keep track of rebounds.
Which is crazy, right? Like, oh, man, yeah. And then they were like, let's make this a stat, Yeah, I'm sure he would. I'm sure he
probably would have.
Yeah, he would have.
Probably would have. The Kings are pondering more off-season change, we think. Who knows where that is? And today we had a couple more accomplished names hit the list. The Pels dismissing David Griffin. The Suns fire Mike Budenholzer. So I know a lot of fans anyway are going to be speculating about this guy or that guy. I'm hoping the Kings are going to have to make some kind of change to the roster. I'm really hoping we don't see wholesale changes in the front office. If it comes to that and they bring in somebody who's great, okay. But right now I really am hoping that we are able to maintain some stability as far as the GM and the coaches go. Drapes. I really am. I think that's important.
No, I think it is, and some people say, well, Monty's been given 5 years. That's 5 seasons. That's
it's not
a
like
long
he
time.
hasn't done anything.
Right,
though.
right. That's the thing. It's
They're better than they were 5 years ago.
They really are. And it comes from ownership, right? Do you believe Monty is the guy that can guide you going forward? We got to admit he's botched some things, Whitey. Like, and people don't understand too. The GM oversees pretty much everything in a basketball organization. I'm talking about media relations. I'm talking about the messaging that gets out. Like, it's usually the GM who sets the tone of the organization. Sam Presti in OKC, Brad Stevens in Boston. Like, those guys are the ones in charge of the organization in terms of the basketball side of things. I'm talking about, like I said, the media relations. And I think that's where Monty, has come up short in some of the things. Look at De'Aaron Fox and how that whole situation played out. It's even going back to last year, Fox's media boycott, And so if you're Monty, you may be able to find the Keon Ellis's, the Keegan Murray's, the basketball side, and you've done a hell of a job. But you got to look at the big picture too. And so I want to see an improvement in that area, going forward from him. You know what I mean? Like, he knows the basketball side. He got the analytics, but, Mike Brown gets fired and not to have a press conference and everything like that. That's how you gain trust among your fan base, Whitey. That's how you gain support from your fan base. It's not hiding out and just making moves and everything's going to be, it's being front and center, being available. That's how you get people behind you. And so I think that's the step that I want to see from Monty going into next season.
That's a really interesting point. Obviously, you're a lot closer to it than I am. From where I am, I would suggest it might not be fair to blame that all on Monty, but I don't know that. And you're right. That was a misstep. The fact that the coach is gone and then there was no official statement on it for many, it was the interview with Mark Jones in his hotel room, right?
Yeah.
Not his fault. I mean, he has what he's got to do, but
right.
Yeah, you're right. That was definitely a misstep. I'm not willing to blame that all on Monty, but he is the general manager. I know that a lot of fans already are looking at names. For example, here in the text line from the 916, hopefully the Kings sign Taylor Jenkins. So no matter how you feel about it, bottom line is there are going to be some names out there that we know that are available.
Right.
Both as GMs and as coaches.
But I think we can agree, Doug has done enough to earn another opportunity.
Yes.
An off season, a coaching staff, a training camp. Doug has done enough, and that's the thing, man. All this will be taken care of in the off season. The question is, if Vivek decides to move on from Monty, what does that mean for Doug?
Yeah.
We just saw with New Orleans, they got rid of their GM,
right?
But they're keeping the head coach. If you bring in somebody new, does that seem weird?
He has to wait and see what happens there.
Right,
because
exactly.
the new GM will have some say.
Yeah. I just think
I think the coach and GM in New Orleans have done a really good job.
I think so too.
They traded Anthony Davis and still ended up being a relevant team for the last.
When you look at their moves, they all made sense. It's not like, oh, what the heck are they doing? Like, why'd you trade this guy? No, I thought David Griffin built a hell of a roster.
And then everybody got hurt.
And there is right. It's not his fault that they got hurt or anything like that. So I'm a little surprised they got rid of him. But back to Monty, to your point, Whitey, where we are today is a complete 180 from where we were even 4 years ago. And how much time do you give a guy to turn things around? Because here's the thing. We were so low, so dysfunctional that I don't know if 5 years is enough time to really get it right, to really get where you want to go. And so I don't know, man. That's higher than my pay grade. Those decisions will be made. But I do think Monty's done some. As much as we talk about Davion and Devin Carter and drafting guards, what about Keon? What about some of the hits that, the development of undrafted players that they've had too?
Yeah. I get it. To me, there have been a lot of positives, but I get it that fans are impatient and they tend to see, especially when you had a great year 2 years ago, and then things since then have been you've been the Sacramento Kings since then. I understand why fans are like, all right, somebody else, somebody who'll do better. But
yeah, we don't know if David Griffin or some of all these names. It's like, you sure that's the answer? Like, we don't know.
Yeah, right. And the other thing we don't know is, if ownership wants, look, we want to be relevant every year. We're not going to tear it down. Then if you bring in a new GM and he's operating with the same mandate, then how much impact can a new guy have too? Those are the things we never know.
You know what's interesting real quick, fellas, George, before you jump in? And I was just thinking about this. You were just talking about the Pelicans. And it's like, when you really sit down and look at it, there are probably more teams who are like the Kings, the Pelicans, the Hornets, the Jazz, teams that keep resetting 3 to 4 or 5 years. It seems like there are way more teams who reset than more teams that are caught lightning in a bottle, or
because it's hard.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting to is it's difficult. It really is difficult to come from, and Drapes, you said it, to come from the drums of where they are to where they even being competitive 3-4 years in a row. And that's what kills me about Kings fans. It's tough. I get it. I understand. But, man, it's been some times where we ain't won nothing, been close to nothing in 10 years, and we're right on the cusp of something every, these last 3-4 years. And so it's just interesting. It's interesting to see how expectations change the narrative on top of, prices. I mean, that's what it really comes down to, I think, for fans they're looking at how much I'm paying for tickets and how much I'm really, I'm investing in, and it needs to come back out. And really all leads to everything. It's players, man.
Yeah. Gee, I know I've said this before. I don't mean to be redundant.
No.
But it's absolutely fascinating, to your point, where expectations are. The Kings right now are on the verge of making the playoffs. And I know it's, nothing's it can be assumed. But so many fans in Sacramento are looking at that as, I don't know. Yep. And that's just never been the case here before.
Right.
Doesn't mean they're wrong, but it's just interesting. It's like, whoa, what has changed? How do we get to that point?
Yeah, I sent you something earlier. And this was this would caught, and this is why it started, kind of regurgitating in my mind. The thing I sent to you about the Suns. The Suns' next head coach will be Devin Booker's 8th different coach in 11 seasons.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But how many times do people really call out the Suns for being a bad organization as much as it feels like we hear about the Kings or the Pelicans? And they've had some things that happen behind closed doors,
right? Yes.
That have like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a real test. They did have during Devin Booker's first few years there, they got rid of the owner and they had like scandal. And now you've got the new owners like, oh, here we go. I'm spending all this money and it hasn't worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's trying to take those shortcuts. Like, we'll just go out and spend money, bring the best players in here. And it hasn't worked. So Devin Booker's not only been, not only has he had a lot of coaches, he's had different regimes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
They had a lot of success. They almost won the championship. And they decided, no, we're going a different way.
Yeah. It's tough when you get into the league of the situation, fellas, where it's like, dang, a lot of it depends on the players too. You got to come out and ball. You got to come out and rock. You got to come out and, play your value. And sometimes it don't work that way. Kings, it's been interesting over the last 5 years or 4 years, I should say. But really, if you really look at Monty's, regime of 5 years, there's been some high level, some high peaks and some low valleys.
Yes, sir.
Real quick though, fellas, real quick.
Yes.
Monty's been here 5 seasons. How many of those seasons do you consider a success or solid or good?
Oof.
Are we talking 3?
This year we don't know yet, right? We're counting.
Okay.
Right.
Got to see how this year plays out.
I mean, relatively speaking, it's been
2 out
better
of
than most.
2 out of the 4 so far, and then whatever this. Right. That's pretty damn good when you talk about it. When you think about it. Yeah. Considering where we were.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to say. Whose standards? I think that's where it starts, Drapes. Is it King standards, by league standards, by championship standards? I guess it just depends on who's calling it.
Yeah, the conversation continues when we come back. We'll also look at which is the must-see series of the first round of the playoffs next with the Drive Guys Sacktown Sports.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com. 49ers are on the clock. Don't miss Sacktown Sports coverage of the upcoming draft, brought to you by Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge. No one covers pro football like Sacktown Sports, and there's no place better to enjoy it than with over 80 screens at Twin Peaks and their ice-chilled 29-degree drafts at the 5 p.m. happy hour kickoff.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo. Presented by Rocks Tech with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPfest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Michelob Ultra and Carl's Jr. Find out more at CITPfest.com.
We're super excited to announce that the new truck center is now open at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And it's easy to find from anywhere. They're centrally located right across from Hagan Oaks Golf Course. At Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, you never have to sacrifice great service to get a good deal. They make sure you're treated the way you deserve to be treated. Showing time and time again that Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's the place where a handshake still means something. I mean, that's the reason why people are coming from all over town. Elk Grove, Folsom, Woodland, Roseville. Stop on in and experience the difference for yourself.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Spring is here, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, huge spring savings for you today.
Yeah, it's been a lot of ups and downs. A lot of things happened in 1 year. And like you said, we ended up getting 40. It's not the number we wanted or the seed we wanted. But I feel like we're playing our best basketball these last 6, 7 games, 8 games, and we got to use that momentum into the playoffs.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team. Sacktown Sports.
I asked you that earlier, Drapes. Are the Kings playing their best basketball? You weren't so sure. But Domas says yes. Last 7, 8 games playing our best basketball. Yeah. Here we go.
Did he say last 7? Hold on, Jay got there. Did he say last 7 or 8?
Yeah, I believe he did. Yeah, he said.
Does that include the Washington?
Last 7 or 8. Yeah, I'm sure he was counting. Which game was 7
right.
or 8?
Yeah, I got to look at the schedule. Now they're playing some good basketball, and they're beating some good teams, man. And even in the losses, the Clippers game, they played decent. Yeah, that was a good game. Good Nuggets game, too.
Did you see the Clippers yesterday? I came home and just saw the very end.
I didn't get to watch them or anything, but I looked at some of the box score I looked at. And, they're pretty Harden 39.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in Golden State. That was
it was.
Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Friday I saw you with Mike Bibby post-game? Did you do post-game Friday?
Yeah, Friday was post-game.
You're like, I'm not a box score guy, but I play
I saw
TV.
you.
It's like, what?
When I'm on TV, I look at the box score, Whitey.
I know.
It's post-game. You gotta look at the box score.
So how can you say I'm not a box score guy when you're always looking at the box score? There's nothing wrong
Only
with
when
that.
I work. But when I come in here, Drapes takes is about the eye test, big fella. It's not about the box score. It's about the eye test.
Stop pretending.
And what winds up happening is the eye test, the box score backs up what I saw with my own eyes. It's like, I see this. Let me look at the box score. Yup, I was right.
Right.
So it's the eye test
So you don't need you see everything the box score tells you
exactly.
without
Exactly. That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
By the way, you would have enjoyed yourself if you were at our house over the weekend because it was
What you got?
Saturday. We watched the final episode of The Pit, which was great.
Okay.
And then we were like, well, what are we going to watch? And I was going to watch, what is it, Streets of Gold? Is that what it's called?
Is it? I don't know.
The one with the Olympic one?
Country of Gold.
No,
right? Country for Gold.
Court of Gold.
Court of Gold. Whatever. Anyway, but instead, a 30 for 30 was on, and they had like all of them, all the Lakers Celtics ones.
Oh,
like,
really? I
let's
missed
watch
that. Dang.
I was like, oh, do you want to watch this? And she was like, oh, yes, we'll watch
She's
it.
into it too?
Yes.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah. And the thing that really stood out, if you pardon my get off my lawn moment, just Magic and Bird, they show all the highlights as they came in the league at the same time, of course. The passing just makes your heart melt, both of them. And they didn't pass the same way, but they were both such brilliant passers. It's just like my jaw just dropped watching it.
Yeah. Guys that made others better.
Yeah.
You know? You don't see that as much anymore.
Not as much. You always see a great
it?
pass here or there.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the pass Jokic made? But those guys,
Every night, every game. No, it's a different brand of basketball now. Now it's about the crossovers, about the moves you make for yourself, not setting up a team.
It is. It really is. I think there's a lot to that. Yeah, Worthy was saying, oh, my first practice, I'm running down the floor. And the ball hits me in the head. And Magic says, Rook, you got to be looking.
Yep. Got to keep that head on the swivel. So, yeah, I miss the good old days, man. Good old days.
Domas a good passer. He had a nice assist game yesterday.
Okay.
And so is Valanciunas. To me, I didn't know he was as good a passer as he's proven to be this year.
You liking what you're seeing from
Yeah,
JB?
he's not Larry Bird.
Right, I was about
he's a
to
good
say,
passer.
all right. Yeah, he's solid. He's serviceable. You could run your offense through him. I think, no doubt about it. I mean, he's more than impressed me with his all-around game. Obviously, the toughness, the rebounding. Just his compete level is pretty high, too. That's one thing I like about him.
So I know we touched on this earlier, Drapes, but your must-see series of the first round of the playoffs, I think we agree. We both have Nuggets Clippers.
Yeah, I think so. That's going to be a bloodbath. That's going to be brutal. I mean, think about it. Jokic could be bounced first round.
Yeah.
Best player in the world, supposedly.
Yeah, that's the thing about the West being so good. You have someone who's going to experience a crushing first-round defeat.
Yeah. And think about it. If you're the Clippers, just another in a long line of like, not good enough. I mean, that would be, but they're a good team, though, Whitey. That's the thing. Like, you could argue the Clippers and Nuggets have a higher ceiling than the Rockets, let's say, at number 2. But because they're meeting in the first round, like, that's going to be a bloodbath, man.
Lakers, Timberwolves, would that be your second most desirable series? I know we both like Knicks, Pistons.
Yeah, but how about a potential Rockets Warriors first round? That could get spicy.
Yes.
That could be a good
It's
one.
already spicy, and we don't even know if they're going to be playing.
Right, don't even know. Can you imagine Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green on the same court together? Ime Udoka and Draymond Green? Over under on ejections that series. It might be like 3.5 or something like that. Taking the over. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of, I think any of the West series are going to be good, even if our Kings make it against OKC. The East, the 3, 6, 4, 5, okay. But the 1 and 2, whoever they face, I think it's 4 and 5 games.
Yeah.
Quick work. Yeah.
I was saying this Thursday, the day when you weren't here, and it does bug me from the Kings standpoint. And I'm not saying anybody needs to do anything about it. It's already the die is cast, but it bothers me that the Bulls basically tore down a little bit. The Kings end up with some of those bigger pieces, and the Bulls and the Kings are basically the same. That's troubling. They're both 9th. The Bulls are 39 and 43, but they're both 9th. And it's just a little, I know you guys before the offseason started, I think you were both high on Josh Giddey, and I was saying, nah.
He might be in the most improved running. Yes.
And all of a sudden they're 9th, but they're a young team, and they've got this future that looks reasonably bright. And it's just, to me, it's maddening that the Kings, are more like, we're going to win now. Well, you're the same. So I don't know, Drapes. That just bothers me. That's all.
Yeah, but we're in the tougher Western Conference.
That's true.
If we're in the East, we'd be right there and above the Bulls, probably even. So don't get too upset about it. Although I will say, Josh,
but if you're in the East, you'd have to play the Wizards more. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Our kryptonite, right? How about this, Whitey? Josh Giddey, month of February, only 11 games, 19.8 points, 8.1 rebounds, 6.4 assists. March, 20.3 points, 9.6 rebounds, 9 assists. April, 20.8 points, 13 rebounds, 10.8 assists.
Triple-double for April, right?
Damn, yes.
Yeah.
He's actually a good player.
He's driven his asking price way
right,
up.
Because he's going to be a free agent, right? Yes. That's going to be. But I think if I'm him, I stay right there.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect situation for him. They let you do your thing. You're not an off-the-ball guy. You go there, run the show out there. I think he'll re-sign. But, man, he's sort of resurrected his career, especially given everything off the court last season and everything. Yeah.
Can the Kings say the future is bright? I go back and forth on that because clearly they're all in on this year. But they have, tried to keep their draft picks, and you've got some young players there. To me, they've kind of tried to have it both ways. Kind of rebuild on the fly, and that's why Monty didn't want to trade firsts for, Cam Johnson, who I was really high on, but they're probably better off they didn't do that. Can we say, hey, this team is set up now? They're not where they'd like to be, but they're competitive, and the future is bright. Can we honestly say that about this roster?
That's a tough.
It's tough because you don't have a first-round pick this year,
right? And that's what I'm worried about. That's when I look at Sacramento's. Because I think when we say the future is bright, mostly we're talking about draft assets, right? When we talk about players, future is bright. Who comes to mind? Keegan Murray?
Mm-hmm.
Devin Carter?
Mm-hmm.
Keon Ellis?
Yes.
Zach?
Not as much, just because he's,
Domas, a little older too? I'm just trying to figure it out. Just
right.
trying to, because, and that's the thing. When we look at is our future bright, I'd say I don't even know what the middle of bright and not bright is. It's flickering. It's there, I can see it, but we don't have the player assets. Like OKC's future is bright.
Let me ask you it this way. At midnight, the beam is on. At midnight, burning bright. When the sun first sets, it's like, So what time is it? If the future of the Kings is the beam, how bright is it? Because
probably about
sunset
10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
That's pretty solid, right?
PM or AM?
Oh, that's what's no, Jay.
I'm just checking. I'm just checking.
I would say PM. Well, I mean, it goes back to when you look at it. Is our future brighter than Utah, do you think?
For me, yes.
Yeah, because they just have their cupboards.
What's a future bright? Give me a team beside OKC. Like I know OKC.
Oh, just Utah. How about Portland?
How about San Antonio?
Oh, come on now. Stop that, Whitey. Stop.
Yeah.
They got the face of the league for the next 15 years, probably, and Victor win. That's different.
That's different.
That's different.
That's what I'm saying.
How about a team that's on? How about Minnesota?
Yeah.
I think they're right there, but they're working with a star. Like a bona fide NBA
and is
star.
Still young.
Yes, and
he's
he's
still
young.
really young.
So I'm not sure. That's what I said. Give me someone who you're saying is the future is bright.
Portland's a great call by Drapes, in my opinion.
I don't know if their future is bright. I don't think they have a star.
Well, they just extended Chauncey, and they won, 14 more games this year?
Yeah, they did pretty well.
But you could see this team winning. You could see this team making multiple playoff runs, Western Conference final runs, and I don't see that with them.
All right. I could see them becoming a relevant regular playoff contender if they play their cards right in the offseason. But that, to me, that's the type, it's where you are in your arc of competitiveness. And the Kings are more like, we're all in on now. But you can tell they have tried to make allowances, but for the future, tried to serve two masters at once, and it's very difficult to do.
Like Houston's future is bright, I think.
Yeah, I give you that
term.
one.
Yeah.
They got some young players that are still developing.
But you look at like the Warriors, who are very competitive.
Their future's not bright. Yeah, not bright at all. Not Clippers.
No,
probably not. Nope. Denver. I don't even
not
see
for
it.
me.
Yeah.
No.
I don't even see it.
That's what I'm saying. Give me someone whose future is bright. You
Lakers?
Yeah, I say yes because you got Luka.
You got Luka.
And
no
it's
matter
LA.
what, it's LA. Yeah, their future is always.
It's always,
right?
the star is always twinkling up there.
Mm-hmm. So where do you put the Kings on that? Are you saying?
Do you think it's right, Jay?
I think they have. See, I think they're, and this is the worst place you want to be in the NBA, fellas, is they're right in the middle. They're really right in the middle because I think as much as people look at the money, it's, oh my goodness, DeMar can't be moved and this can't. Like, I really think DeMar can be moved. I think Domas can be moved. Now, what you get back for him or what you trust in them getting back for him is completely different. I think they're just what Whitey said. I think they're serving two masters. But I do think with the right move, meaning if you were to spin one of the OG veterans and get a player A, whoever that could be, you could be right there. For me, when I say player, I mean, future is bright for a team. First of all, I think you need to have a star in the making or a young star. That's what I said. Well, Portland, I think they have some pieces to move that their future could be bright, but nobody over there burns the candle that I'm scared of within the next 10 years.
Clingan, baby.
Yeah, well, that's you.
Shaden Sharp?
Yeah, I mean, not for me.
Okay.
I don't think he's a superstar in the next 10 years.
All right.
I think he's a good ball player, but superstar? No.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. From where we sit right now, how bright do you think the Kings' short-term, long-term future is? Let us know. Drive Guys, rolling on Sacktown Sports.
At SMUD, we power local business with incentives on clean energy equipment, tools to manage electricity usage and save money, tailored solutions from dedicated strategic account advisors, and 50% lower rates than neighboring utilities, all while doing more for the planet with clean energy solutions, savings, reliability, personalized service, clean energy, helping local businesses thrive. That's our clean power promise. Learn more at smud.org.
It's official. Newsmax has become a news giant. It's even listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Over 40 million Americans regularly turn to Newsmax for the news they need to know. They're tuning into the Newsmax channel on all major cable systems. They watch Newsmax 2 on all streaming platforms. They go online to newsmax.com for breaking headlines. Millions more have downloaded the free Newsmax app on their smartphone and home TV. Reuters says Newsmax is one of the top news brands in America. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific, and he's watching. Tens of millions of Americans like you have made the switch to Newsmax for the news they can trust. So make the switch today. You won't ever look back.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Save $12,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Silverado 1500 LT at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter after all rebates.
And Maida Chevy still has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area.
With $12,000 off new Silverado exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
5 savings must trade in 2011 or newer. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Made a great deal at Maida.
The hot weather is coming. Is your HVAC system ready for it? Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating make sure it is. Get to Lee'sAirPlumbingandHeating.com. Check out their $99 HVAC tune-up special. And let me tell you why Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating is the way to go. They took care of me when our heater collapsed over the winter, and Lee set us up with a great new HVAC system that is providing comfort, value, and quality. Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating take care of you. License number 635355.
I ain't even know it, not. Take the car here to the stage, then you seen
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Is Sacramento in the grip of playing fever? Doesn't seem like it, but some of us are excited and happy we got at least one more game. Drapes, what's the TV situation for the play-in game Wednesday?
ESPN exclusive on Wednesday, but NBC Sports California will have pre and post game. It'll be me, Katie, and Morgan Reagan, the three on set for pre and post game.
So you'll be out there at the
arena. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yep. Half hour pre, half hour post.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as this
now, if the Kings get into the playoffs, you guys would have telecast again, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Everything but the ABC games. So if it's ESPN, we can share. But if it's ABC or TNT, ABC, then we don't. But TNT and ESPN, we can do it side by side.
So that would, as far as you know, also apply to Friday because that's the play-in tournament?
Yeah, Friday will be ESPN again. Yeah. So we got to, the next time we call a game will be playoffs. Not play-in, playoffs.
Game 1 at Oklahoma City.
Game 1, OKC.
Yeah.
I wonder, would you think that would be that's not an ABC game, right? They released the schedule. Who else are we up against on Sunday? I need to look that up because
that might be one of those Saturday early games or something.
Yeah, ours is Sunday for sure.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It's 100%.
They play
sure.
Friday. Yeah, so
so Friday and then Sunday. But I don't know if that would be a 3:30 or 12:30 ABC game. I don't think so.
We were just wondering about the teams with the brightest futures. Somebody says here, Campy says Detroit. Yeah.
They got a bright future.
Yeah,
I would say they have a bright future, right, Jay?
Oh, yeah. Kay Cunningham.
Yes.
And you throw in the Thompsons and a couple of young guns around them. Absolutely.
David Neal says, I thought Danny Ainge was the GOAT of GMs. All those draft picks haven't moved the needle since he took over. Gracie approves, says, future is bright. We're not last, but I do agree we need a little more oomph to be serious contenders. I think when you try to understand what the Kings are doing, it's pretty apparent to me they've tried to have it both ways, tried to win now while not turning a blind eye to accumulating assets that'll keep you fresh and keep you getting better. It's just really hard to do it that way.
Yeah, you're trying to improve and stay relevant at the same time. And, Miami did it the best for the longest, but even now they're reeling a little bit, 37-45. I wouldn't say their future is bright. Like you look at a team, like we're kind of almost in the same stratosphere as Miami.
This has been, it's been a tough year for the Kings. We were talking about this last week, and Howard Beck wrote about this today in, I think it was The Ringer. This has been a really tough year for a lot of teams in the NBA. There's a lot of teams right now that are like, man, that just wasn't the way we wanted this to go. A lot of teams. In fact, the whole league, in some respects, is going, it was not a great year for us.
I mean, even a team like Orlando, Whitey, they had high expectations this year, 41-41. They're a play-in team. They're one game better than us. Miami, like we talked about, Sixers, we know all about their struggles. Even a team like Minnesota thought they'd be better than the 6 seed this year. And so, Phoenix is probably the biggest one.
Maybe maybe the biggest ever.
Yeah. Here's the thing about bright futures. For Utah, it could change. Draft Cooper Flag. They got a bright future, right? Aren't we saying that? I think it could change here going forward. And even with Sacramento, let's say we don't make the playoffs. What if we pull a Cleveland and somehow get the number one pick? Remember Cleveland a few years ago had the worst odds to get number one. And they got number one 3 years in a row.
Right.
Like, why not us? Like, then our future becomes super bright if you draft a guy like that.
Jay's talking about you got to have that guy, right, Jay, to build on.
A lot of times,
To me, that's really the fascinating thing about Danny Ainge, watching him in Utah. Because I'm with, who was it, David Neal. Every year I'm waiting for Danny to make his move. But having done it in Boston, having put together a team like that, having been with the Celtics when they did that, put great teams together, it seems like he knows I can't do anything till I have the piece. And so now if he gets Cooper Flag, he's got it. But I think that's what he's waiting for, right? Rather than we'll make the best of what we have.
Yeah.
It seems like he looks at it and goes, we can't start till we have the guy.
And I would argue he probably was targeting this draft.
Maybe so.
You know, we're not going to be good until at least we figure out this draft. And maybe even next year's draft, which is supposed to be phenomenal also. But regarding,
maybe they were hoping they'd get Wemby, which they didn't. But
maybe. But if you get a Cooper Flag, now you could really start. You got a lot of young talent. You could start siphoning off some of those pieces because they really haven't done the big trade to bring something back of substance yet. Same thing with OKC, Whitey. OKC sitting on young players and draft picks. They could go out there and move up in the draft or go out there and get a disgruntled star or somebody like that. Like they were mentioned in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes.
That is one of the worst things about being, to Jay's point, stuck in that middle.
Yeah.
Maybe the Kings are, maybe they're not. But when you're stuck in the middle, you're on that hamster wheel. You're looking up. You can't quite catch up to the teams ahead of you. Then next thing you know, the teams behind you are getting better and they're starting to pass you up.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. And in my prep for the game yesterday, the Phoenix Suns are the only team that did not make the playoffs that don't also have a first-round draft pick. Like, that's where you don't want to be. You know, it's like,
well,
you saying that's where we are?
Well, it could be.
Nah. But Phoenix don't have them for years to come, I think.
Okay.
It seems like. You know, I got that note right here. When you look at Phoenix, they're the only team in the NBA to miss the playoffs, miss the play-in, and not be in the draft lottery. Like, they have no hope right now. But what they do have is pieces they could sell off. Like, I think Phoenix can quickly retool. Trade Kevin Durant. You're not going to get a superstar back or anything like that, but you might get a couple of first-round picks. Like, I see a path for them retooling, bottoming out, tearing it down. What's our pathway? That's the question.
Yeah, it's probably stay the course.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to have to make some really tough decisions on your best players, on your big three. Is that a sustainable big three going forward? I don't know, but you get to wait and see how this plays out before you make that decision. The Suns, to me, strike me as a classic case of an owner that comes in and he's like, this isn't that hard. I'll do it. I don't know why no one else is doing this way. They must be afraid to spend money. Watch this. I'm going to spend all this money and watch us take off. Oh, wait, it didn't work. Right? Don't you think a lot of it
sort
is
of like Brooklyn?
A new owner.
Remember Prokhorov?
Mikhail Prokhorov.
Yeah, when they brought in C-Web and everything.
Hit you where the good Lord split you. Yeah.
He went all in, bringing in all these flashy names. Nothing. And so I think, this is just me. This is no inside info. I think the Kings want control of their draft picks back. And conveying it to Atlanta frees up them to do multiple moves going forward, trades, everything like that. And so that's what I think. If I was GM, that's what I would be aiming for. You know?
It's too bad you don't have that pick.
Yeah.
You don't want to. You're going to lose it next year anyway, right? Because next year it'll only be top 10.
Only top 10.
Yeah.
And so I think that the prudent move is to convey it now. Then that opens up, whether you want to trade some players and a pick or whatever, you could do some things.
That said, as you pointed out just a few moments ago, maybe you
get lucky. Maybe get lucky.
Bingo.
You could do both.
Win
you know
the
what
lottery.
I mean? You could make the play-in and still keep your draft pick. It's possible.
You know? I was doing a little thing with Kyle Ledbetter on the air a couple weeks ago, and I said, do the draft lottery on Tankathon and see how many times it takes you. Try it 10 times and see if you get the Kings to come up. And he went through 9 times. And on the 10th time, he goes, and 10th try, Sacramento Kings. And I said, you're lying. And
Really?
he was.
So a 1 in 10 chance, maybe.
No, he didn't get it. He
he
said,
didn't get it.
I got it, but I could tell you're a terrible actor.
Dang.
Didn't you do it? You got it, what, in 14 or something?
Something like 12.
Yeah.
Just fooling around. Yeah, but poor Kyle Ledbetter. He figured he wanted to give fans hope. I got it. It's like, no, you didn't.
Dang.
No, you didn't.
Let me see. I'm doing it right now. As we speak, I'm doing it right now. And no. Jeez.
Does it have the odds there? What the odds are?
Let's see. On Tankathon. No, it doesn't have the odds. I think it's like, what is it? 0.04 or 0.4 or something like that. Charlotte, Utah, Washington, Utah, Washington.
It would be top 4, according to this, that Sacramento pick. Top 4, 2.4%. Number 1 overall, 0.5%.
0.5. Not even a full percent.
Telling me there's a chance.
There is a chance.
Yes.
There is a chance.
When we come back, Drapes, are you gonna?
I'm hitting the road, man. I'm not feeling 100% right now. I'm gonna go home and lay down.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
All right.
It's just sit back, listen to the show.
I will listen to you guys.
A
Call
big
me
day
street
Wednesday,
clothes
brother.
again and everything like that. I'll be listening.
All right, you got your 20 minutes in, so now it registers as a game.
That's right. That's
The
true.
game
That's-
played. Yeah, make no mistake, the Kings have not accomplished anything. At least not yet. That's next with the Drive Guys. Feel better, Drapes.
Thank you.
Sacktown Sports.
Every day when we're on the road, people around us endanger themselves and others by looking at their phones while driving. There's the sneaker peeker who darts their eyes between the road and their texts, or the nightlighter who illuminates their car after dark. If that's you, reconsider before you find yourself becoming the fender bender-er, the got a ticket-er, or worst of all, the driver who killed someone. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, everybody. Kyle Draper here for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You know, sometimes you just don't want to buy brand new. I get it. I understand. Sometimes you just want to try something out. Maybe go for a lease. Well, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the place for you. They have great lease offers starting at $297 a month. That's right, $297 a month. You know, for over 30 years, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has been there for the community. Whether you're buying, whether you're leasing, they're the ones you can trust. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now and check out their fleet of leased vehicles. They have certified pre-owned vehicles as well, starting at just 3.49% on select models from 2021, 22, and 23. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Tell them your boy Drape sent you, and trust me, they'll take care of you. They're a partner you can trust. Or you can always go online at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks, you know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Kevin Hart with some exciting news. I am coming to a city near you. My new tour is called Acting My Age, and I want to see you there. Come out, have a good night, a good time. It's all new material in a much, much more intimate setting. Go get your tickets and head to kevinhartnation.com now.
Comedy superstar Kevin Hart brings his new tour, Acting My Age, to the venue at Thunder Valley on Saturday, April 26th. Tickets on sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com and KevinHartNation.com.
It's Carmichael Dave talking to you about my good friends at American Energy. You're in the Sacramento area. You know how the seasons work. They are a-changing right now. So American Energy wants to help you stay warm for the rest of the cold season, but help you stay cool during the warm season. Best way to do that, make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of half off a tune-up, $24.50. They cut that right in half, and if you want a diagnostic, guess what? You can't beat free. If it's free, it's me, and now it can be you. And also, it's the end of the season blowout. $4,000 off a new system plus any rebates. That $4,000, that's a direct drop from the sticker price. It's a great deal. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote or give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Sacramento Kings basketball.
The Sacramento Kings have moved and pulled off the improbable.
The run to the playoffs.
Here's a steal by Kia. Career high 6. Breakaway. Hammer time.
On Sacktown Sports 1140.
Ride the highway, ride the bus.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Jay and Whitey with you. Mr. Draper wasn't feeling tip-top, and Jay and I said, get the heck out of here. Take care of yourself. So Drapes be back with us, of course, tomorrow. Jay, I have some, breaking Kings media news. This is
okay.
22 minutes ago, and it was posted by Malik Monk.
Double M.
Malik Monk posting, he usually reports news about us, so I'm going to break some news about him. Breaking, Sean Cunningham is joining the sports department at KCRA Channel 3.
Shouts out to them brothers.
Malik Monk.
Yes, sir.
Is that Michelle Dapper confirming that.
Is that right?
So, yeah, we have an ongoing deal with KCRA. So Sean comes on all the time anyway, but good for Sean Cunningham, who got his start on this very station.
Yeah, hopefully that check is bigger. That's all I care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it really come down to all of that situation, the way society works, man, you know, whoever he's tagging himself to, get that money, brother.
That's right. Yeah, he's a smart guy.
I would hope so.
I would anticipate that's the case, but I really have no idea.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, knowing Sean, I would think that's just a thrill just to have Malik posting it.
That's what's up. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
You think he told him to say it?
No.
You think Malik got the inside scoop from someone else?
I think that's the way Malik operates. Maybe someone, I don't think Sean would, hey, Malik, will you do this? I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they were talking today at shoot around or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Malik, by the way, got the community service award yesterday.
Yeah, second year in a row, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Malik. So shouts out to him working and moving in the community. Love to see that. Love to, especially when you're not from that community. Love to see guys like Malik come in and, dive 10 toes deep into the community of Sacramento and assist in making this place a better spot.
It was very nice to see that yesterday, and they awarded him with a trophy. There's one thing about that made me cringe a little, had nothing to do with Malik, but Monty was there and Mr. Ranadive was there. And after they handed off the trophy, Monty and Vivek kind of did a little handshake and a little hug. And Jay, when I saw it, I thought, oh, he's gone. I don't know anything.
Man, you was reading into
when
that?
I saw, I was like, oh, that wasn't good. Maybe I'm totally off because I'm pro Monty. But when I saw it, the vibe to me was like, oh, that wasn't good.
You're like a body language pathologist or something. Okay, I got you.
Let's just say one of the two people was more into it than the other.
Okay, I got you. So you had your vision that you were Hawkeye out there yesterday.
It was hard to miss. To me, it's like, oh. But again, you know how I feel about Monty, and I hope I'm wrong about it.
That's interesting. That's super interesting. You're reading body language, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like where you're going for conspiracy theory.
I hope I'm wrong. Let's not make any mistakes here. I know Doug was asked yesterday, Coach Christie, pardon me, was asked a couple of times about, now that you're in the play-in and what you've done this year, and he wasn't having any of it. He didn't want to hear about, reflecting on the season or any of that because he said we're in it.
It ain't over.
Still in it. We're trying to get in the playoffs. So the point is, and based on what we hear from a lot of Kings fans, I don't think there'll be too much, if any, pushback on this. But the Kings actually have not accomplished anything yet. When they announced yesterday they won the game and the Kings have clinched the 9th spot. It's like, they get a home game. That's great. But they haven't accomplished anything yet this year, Jay. I think we all know that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You've played for an opportunity to continue to play.
Right.
That's pretty much all you've done.
It's like you get, you've been good enough. We'll give you another chance.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Right.
Like, okay. We'll still give you another chance.
Definitely. It is still something to be playing, as there are plenty of teams who are not. So I give you that feather in the cap. But as far as accomplishments, no, because it's just a continuation of what's going, continuation of the season. But if we're looking at accomplishments as of right now, no, the season is still ongoing. You're still playing for something.
Let me ask your opinion, if I may, Jay, and yours as well, dear listener. If the Kings get into the playoffs, which is, you can hardly assume it's going to happen, but how big of an accomplishment would that be? Given all the turmoil the team went through and all the changes, you got a new coach, is it an accomplishment? And I know part of it is, you'll probably play OKC, and that probably wouldn't go well. And I understand that. That's true. You never know how it's going to go, but my goodness, would they win 68 games? So if the Kings, this year's Kings, if they get into the playoffs, which remember last year's team was not able to do, is that an accomplishment, or is it more of it really doesn't matter? What do you think, Shane?
It's an accomplishment. It's something that you put on your whiteboard. One of the things we see, speaking of Sean Cunningham, he always puts up the acronym, the letters that Coach Christie or someone writes up there on the whiteboard for the Kings. And, you're always trying to play puzzle breaker. You're trying to figure out what the letters mean. But it's absolutely a feather in your cap in the form of, you go back to that whiteboard in the beginning of the season, even though it was a different coach writing it up at the front, making the playoffs is definitely one of your goals.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you make the playoff, it's a goal. Now, because it's the hindsight rule, right? In hindsight, you're like, hell yeah, that's an accomplishment. We made it. In the beginning of the season, absolutely we will be. But because now we're looking at it in hindsight, oh man, you're making the playoffs and you're getting ready to play OKC. Well, it's all for nothing because you're probably going to get beat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you told this team, you told fan base, shoot straight to the end of the season, you make the number 8 spot and you play OKC, are you taking it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, you are.
Yeah. So TIAA, that is an accomplishment. That's
Yes.
what you put on the board.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. I think both things can be true. It would be an accomplishment. At the same time, it wouldn't mean that all is well in the King's kingdom and all your issues and worries going forward are solved. No, but it'd just be better to make the playoffs, especially when that first round pick is probably gone anyway. You could still hit the lottery jackpot. I know somebody here in the chat says, Drapes, we ain't giving up this pick. We're capturing the flag. So they're still at 2.4% chance.
Yeah.
But that pick is probably gone. So playoffs, more fun this year. But either way, as I keep saying, Jay, and as everyone knows who's following it, there's going to be some really tough decisions that have to be made this year.
Oh, absolutely.
In the offseason.
Playoffs, non-playoffs, play-in, non-play-in. Absolutely. And not only for the Kings, there's going to be a bunch of decisions that need to be made for a bunch of teams throughout this league. And probably majority of the teams in this league.
That's true. There's a lot of unhappy teams out there.
Yeah, the Kings ain't separated from nothing. we are the King station. The Kings matter here in Sacramento, so we have those conversations. But I guarantee these conversations are being had in other places throughout the country as well. You just take a look at it. You can already see a head coach and the general manager be fired, and believe me, we'll probably start to see a little more, as the upcoming weeks come towards us, the next couple of coming weeks. So it's not like the Kings are in the only boat by themselves. Nah, believe me, this is a yacht now, baby.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of people on this yacht.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the question of, well, is it a successful season with everything they've been through this year? I don't even know that you can have a season that you go, yeah, great season. There's just been so much going on, but a playoff trip would go a long ways towards soothing some of the frayed nerves that I know fans have been experiencing. When we come back, the NFL draft 10 days away, and the 49ers are getting ready for work on the foundation. We're back with that, Jay and Whitey on Sacktown Sports.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter, right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, UC Davis, and Sac State with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SacktownSports.com to join.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel, walk-behind, zero-turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow. Available at participating dealers.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Maybe the scariest commercials on TV right now, and I think we run a version of it on our station as well, if I'm not mistaken. They're for a company called Groundworks, and they show somebody's foundation. They got the people working there, and it's like, oh, what's this? Oh, this is a crack in the foundation. And when you do that, you got something settling there, and you got to dig down, and you got to fortify the foundation. It is, and I know it's very important work, but that's just the type of thing to me. It's like so scary. It's like, a crack in my foundation? What's going on under my house? Jay, I don't know if you can see. I got a little scraped up here because over the weekend, I had to crawl underneath the house. I had some water under there. I'm crawling around and got some water out of there and found a leak underneath, and I think I can fix all that. But it's the type of thing. It's like you're laying there like, what's going on under the house? Maybe the whole thing is rotting away, and it just drives me crazy. The point I'm making here is we got the NFL draft 10 days away, and it looks like your 49ers, Jay, are getting ready to do some work on the foundation.
Meaning the interior line and or the defensive line?
This is from our friend Matt Barrows in The Athletic. 49ers key position needs, and they do a great job in The Athletic of breaking down every team's, what picks they have and what their key needs are, free agent acquisitions, and so on. 49ers key position needs, according to Matt Barrows: defensive tackle, offensive tackle, and defensive end. So we're talking foundational work here on the 49ers. They love the skill position guys, but they got to get back into the trenches and fortify things.
Yeah, they're definitely, and one of the things that the 49er does quite a bit is every single year it seems like they re-up on that defensive line.
Yes.
Definitely. They're moving and mixing, matching guys, defensive tackles, D-ends.
It seems like they just spent so much money on it, though, and already they're deciding they got to retool.
Yeah, but doesn't every team?
Yeah.
Doesn't every team always mix and match O-line and D-line?
Mm-hmm.
And for sure, D-line. Like D-line, to me, you see D linemen move quite a bit throughout the NFL at this point, even big name guys, just because it's one of those positions where you constantly need production. You always need production from the D-line. And every team, whoever wins the Super Bowl, has a great D-line. And if you go back and you look at, the Chiefs, now you look at Philadelphia, you look at like the teams who are successful and champions, they're constantly moving the D-line around as well.
Yeah, defensive tackle was a problem spot this offseason.
Yes, definitely.
As Matt Barrows writes, 49ers lost 3/4 of last year's starting defensive line in free agency. Javon Hargrave, Malik Collins, Leonard Floyd. So as it stands now, Jordan Elliott, Kevin Givens are their top 2 tackles. So Barrows says, look for San Francisco to take advantage of a deep defensive tackle class by taking multiple players at that position. So if you're going to be looking for tackle help, this is a good draft in which to be looking for it. He also has offensive tackle as a position of need because they lost Jalen Moore. He signed a 2-year deal with the Chiefs. It's unclear right now who takes over that spot. And you got Trent Williams turning 37, so they got to do some work there. And they've been trying, Jay, to ham and egg it along the offensive line for years now.
Yeah, that's something I think they need to invest in. I think if there's a position that you need to go get some top-end, top-flight talent, it's offensive line. Pooney's going to be there. We know Trent Dubb is there, but he's definitely been banged up a little longer in the tooth, of course. Jalen Moore was the backup left tackle. I don't know. Now that he's gone, I don't really know which way to go. I would expect, just like Matt Barrows talked about, you'll probably see a young guy come in and play that, that backup role and maybe be the guy that maybe leads to when Trent walks away is the guy.
Yeah. Spencer Burford and Austin Pleasance.
Yeah.
Both actually, they've been guards. They might get some run at tackle.
Yeah. And Burford's kind of been an in and out guy. Remember when he jumped in last year, a couple years ago, I believe. Yeah. Because it'd be his 3rd year. Yeah, Aaron Banks was one of the guys that they drafted. He walked away to Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, this offseason, got a big contract. Burford was kind of one of those guys that was learning on the fly, right guard, but Pooney came in. Remember, Burford was probably Packers, excuse me. I knew it was somebody NFC North. Pooney was supposed to be the guy that was going to back up Burford. Burford got hurt. Aaron Banks got hurt last season. You found the guy in Pooney. So, it happens. What I'm scared of is Jake Brindle being the starting center again. I think you need someone to challenge him, if not replace him. And I think you just need someone across Bosa, who I've also said is slowing down.
Yeah.
You're not going to get what you want out of Bosa, out of Nick Bosa. I believe you need someone that is going to bring double-digit sacks on the other side now, too.
Defensive end is the 3rd position of need, 3rd greatest position of need for the 49ers heading into the draft, according to Matt Barrows. He says another year, another bookend for Nick Bosa. 49ers have had a lot of short-lived experiments at the position. D. Ford, Samson Ebicom, Drake Jackson to Floyd. He says the team ought to look for a longer-term solution. Perhaps in the 1st round, players such as Georgia's Mikael Williams and Texas A&M's Shemar Stewart might be available. So from a fan standpoint, it's not as much fun as, trying to figure out what quarterback or what running back your team's going to take. And the 49ers will be taking receivers later on in the draft. But up top, they are going to be looking at fortifying that foundation.
No doubt. Mike Green, I've heard from Marshall. Like you said, Mikael Williams, Derek Harmon from Oregon, defensive tackle. I've heard him. Then, on the offensive line, you've heard a few different names as well. I think if you're staying there with the 11th pick, right? Yeah, 11th pick.
Sir.
I think if you're in the 11th pick, I think you have to you definitely either go defensive tackle, DN, offensive tackle. Will Campbell is somebody that I've seen quite a bit linked to the 49ers offensive tackle as well. So if you stay right there, unless something absolutely drops, like it, and it's not going to happen, but I'm just saying a lot of people are enamored with Travis Hunter. If Travis Hunter, for whatever reason, just drops to 11, if it becomes to the point where the value's too high, you have to take him. But I suspect it's going to be offensive tackle, D tackle, or DN.
The 49ers will have overall picks 11, 43, 75, 100, 113, 138, 147, 160, 227, 249, and 252 as it stands right now.
And they have some great work in those middle rounds. I believe have 3 third-round picks.
That is 2 thirds and 2 fourths and 2 fifths according to this.
Got you. So twos, and twos. You got some good work right there. That's where you're able to replace that line. That's where you go get a starting caliber center. A lot of times you see a lot of these starting caliber centers get picked 3rd, 4th round. Like I expect the 49ers to do some heavy work on the interior line, the foundation, as you said, laying the foundation, the proper foundation within those middle rounds.
Now, where are you on the 2 top quarterbacks? And I know the 49ers won't have any interest in them, but Cam Ward and Shader Sanders, where are you?
Shador, I would I'm a Cam Ward guy. I think it's pretty much written he's going to go number
Tennessee,
1.
number 1, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. It's, a quarterback is really like a star player in the NBA. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't really win, or you don't even get close to winning a championship. You need to have a top flight, top 10 quarterback. I think you can win with a top 10 quarterback.
The problem is because that's known, teams who have those top picks, they figure we don't know when we're going to have a pick this high. And so often they reach for the guy and then, maybe he's the guy. Trubisky, for example, and then ends up, no, that wasn't the guy. And now you've just set yourself back.
True. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm more of the school of, if it's not the guy to you, then go get your guy. And that could be anywhere, defensive tackle, DN, linebacker, or, whoever that is. Go get him. I'm not a big reach for a quarterback guy, but I do think if it's someone where you see something in it and it's like, he's close, then I'm going to get him. I wouldn't be reaching on Trubisky's and guys like that.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, I'll say this. I'll use Travis Hunter. I don't even want to use a quarterback. I don't think Travis Hunter is going to be the guy that people believes he's going to be in the pros. That's just me. I think people are going to reach for him because he's the phenomenon. He can play both ways. Corner-wise, I believe he's going to get tore up in the NFL. Just my opinion. I think he's a better receiver, not as polished as a receiver, but I think his athleticism takes over as a receiver. He's got good height, good wheels. He play good hands, all of that type of stuff. And I think he's one of those guys. He's better if you get the ball in his hands. He's more dynamic than the person that's really, doesn't have the ball in his hand. That's me.
Yep.
Now, I could be completely wrong.
We need your mock draft then. Here's a mock draft. I know mock drafts are a dime a dozen. I really would be interested in your mock draft. Vinny Iyer for, I think this is Sporting News. For what it's worth.
Friend of the
show. First pick, Cam Ward, Titans.
Yeah, I think it's a wrap.
Shador Sanders, Cleveland, second pick. Travis Hunter, Giants, third pick in this mock.
Yeah.
Jay, you're saying no.
Well, for me, it wouldn't be. I know Abdul Carter's been hurt from Penn State, who's the edge.
He goes 4th to the Patriots.
A lot of people. Mason Graham, defensive tackle, right, from Michigan's probably a top 5 guy. T. McMillan from Arizona. I know Ramsey doesn't want to hear that, being an Arizona State guy. I really like Ashton Genty, running back from Boise.
Yeah,
I think
he's going here, pardon me, but in this mock, he goes to the Raiders 6th. 5th is the Jags with the guy I was hoping the 49ers would get, Armand Membu.
Yeah, big name. A lot of people looking for him, yeah. I doubt he lasts to 11.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, but you never know. There's a couple of guys in there that people are like Will Campbell, LSU offensive tackle. A lot of people are really looking at him. You talked about Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, Michael Williams. There's some guys that may, and we know this, Whitey, right? Every single year, there's a guy or two who drops a little further than you thought.
Right.
And normally it comes down to, middling of the first round where it's like, okay, that's too much value to continue to let this gentleman keep floating down. So
yes. Yeah. The Sporting News here, this one, this mock has with the 11th pick, the 49ers select Will Campbell. Yeah. 6'6", 319 to be the new Trent Williams and just anchor that left tackle position from now to the end of time.
And he probably jumps over to the right tackle, probably right now, and I'll take it. Shador's going to be interesting. Very interesting. Just kind of see, depends on how you like him. Have you seen him play at all?
Yeah. I know I saw something today that said Pittsburgh really likes him. They'd like to bring in Aaron Rodgers and then have Shador just kind of be his understudy in the short term and then eventually take over. But I mean, Pittsburgh they could always trade up, but
sure.
Yeah. they're not picking until 21st. So
yeah,
they ain't going to get Shedeur Sanders at 21st.
probably not. Yeah, it'd be very interesting if you did, and then it becomes, is it too high of a value to continue to let it go?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the foundational piece for the 49ers.
Got to do it. You get a little scraped up there, Jay, but you got to get in there.
Yeah.
Got to take care of business or else the whole thing.
So did you now
you end up 6-11 or whatever?
Getting back to the Gleason foundational piece, do you have to go back in?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Just like the 49ers.
Right.
Take a couple tries.
The thing about it, you're under the house, it's so hard to get out and you see things that are wrong. It's like, I can't bring my whole toolkit down here, but I identified the issue. And I got that pump in there. That's the main thing. Got some of that water out of there, Jay.
Attaboy.
Got that thing
see you working?
Yeah. When we come back, a look at the NBA MVP race. Who's the MVP? Is that even a real question this year? Next, Drive Guys Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Well, when our old heater collapsed with a heavy sigh, we were at a loss. What do we do? It's freezing cold. And there are so many HVAC companies out there. We didn't know who to choose. Well, I would recommend you call Lee's Air, Plumbing, and Heating. A friend recommended we check them out at leesair.com. Glad that we did. They treated us with a lot of respect. They offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. They get 4.8 stars on Google. So, yeah, lots of friends recommend Lee's Air, Plumbing, and Heating. They spent more than 40 years serving the Valley's HVAC heating and plumbing needs. You can trust Lee's with installation and repair of your AC, furnace, and water heater, plus residential, commercial plumbing repair, commercial HVAC services too. And you know what's coming. The hot weather is coming. Is your system ready for it? Get to leesair.com and find out. You can check out their mission statement, which is all about serving customers and community. And this is nice. Check on their $99 HVAC tune-up special. You want to let Lee's take care of you the way they took care of me, treating us like family, setting us up with an HVAC system that has improved our quality of life and has improved the air that we breathe. Lee's Air, Plumbing, and Heating. Make sure you're ready for the summer with Lee's Air, Plumbing, and Heating. License number 635-355.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-902-5454. 800-902-5454.
Spring is here and Kohl's has everything you need to celebrate it in style. Find fresh looks the whole family will love for all your events and get-togethers this season. Plus, save an extra 15% on some of your favorites and earn Kohl's cash. There's so much to love about spring, and big savings on great styles is one of them. Find them now at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends April 19th. Kohl's cash and coupons do not apply to Sephora at Kohl's. Exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Grab the keys to a new Toyota.
From city streets to open highways, Toyota's legendary reliability is built for every road ahead. Right now, get a low-cost lease on a versatile 2025 RAV4 hybrid, or shop the industry's best lineup of hybrid SUVs with a 2025 Grand Highlander hybrid and stylish 2025 Toyota Crown Signia. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Offers end 4/30/25.
Jane Whitey today. Drapes was with us earlier. Wasn't feeling tip-top, so he took the rest of the day off. Should be back with us tomorrow. Feel better soon, Drapes. Speaking of Kyle Draper, Yellow Vision Richardson in the Chateau says, I told Draper yesterday the Kings are losing in Game 7 to OKC. How we feel about that?
Ooh.
That sounds like it'd be,
I'd take it.
Yes.
I'd take it.
Yeah, but you know how it is. You say that anytime you say, what if you won this many games or your team did this or that? What if they had like a 12-point lead with 2 minutes left and they lost? And we'd be saying, that was the worst game ever. But right now, 7-game series OKC sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say, it is strange in the form of saying I take it knowing that I lose because I play to win. But yeah.
That surprises me from you, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, for sure. I'd take it.
Mm-hmm. Campio says, have foundation problems, water under the house, call Kevin Gleason. Years of experience crawling under houses. Absolutely. I'll crawl under there. I might not be able to do anything, but I'll crawl under your house.
At least take a peek for you.
Yeah, I'll go crawl around in there. I have no problem with that. The thing about the Oklahoma City Thunder is they're not only the best team in the league this year, a lot of the numbers suggest they've had one of the better seasons that anyone's ever had. How do you feel about that, Jay? You go back to that 73-win Warrior team, and I know the great Bob Myers, who's a great guy, he says, you know what? We didn't win the finals, but we won 73 games.
Mean nothing.
I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm. Means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Got to hoist the trophy big time.
Yes. Now, I know if you're the GM or the players, you have to say something like that. You can't say, it was a total failure. But to me, it's almost like, it's a little cringy. Before
Definitely.
that, the 3 or 4 teams prior to that who had set a record for most wins in a season, they all won the championship. So to win 73 and come that close, like, no, you didn't seal the deal.
Patriots undefeated, lose
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Yes.
To the Giants, right? Yeah, it's just one of those things where you have to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hoist the trophy. You gotta make confetti angels in the confetti. The family's got to come on and shed a tear.
Right.
Yeah, if you're the losing squad, if you're part of the team, you're supposed to always wear that as a badge. We were one of the greatest teams to ever play, just couldn't get it done. You're 100% right. You definitely need to say that. But if we're talking about it third person, bird's eye view, outside looking in, however you want to say it, yeah, you got to win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So perhaps the Thunder at some point, they feel the pressure of that, of finishing the deal. I don't know. But I do know this. When you talk about the MVP this year, there's no question who the MVP is this year. I'm a big Jokic fan. I think Jokic is underrated, even as he becomes more widely known as one of the greatest players ever. I still think he may be underrated. This year, 29.8 points, 12.8 rebounds, 10.2 assists. He's done some incredible things this year, but he is not the most valuable player. He had a 30-20-20 game. He had a 60-point triple-double, but he is not the most valuable player. That is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I thought SGA won last year.
Yeah.
I was one of the guys, I was here on the show. I thought SGA won. I thought Jokic kind of got the legacy a la Steve Nash, second MVP over Shaq. That's how I felt. I thought Jokic got that. SGA was the newcomer on the block, and now second year, he's kind of solidified as being a top 5 guy in the league. And of course, we got to see him in the Olympics this past year, even though they didn't do what they wanted to do. Thank goodness, United States won. But yeah, I thought SGA was the MVP last year, man.
Mm-hmm. This year, his team won big. They were dominant. And he finished as the league's leading scorer. He also finished with better than 50% field goal percentage. So it's not just somebody who's just shooting to score points. He was very efficient, rarely forces shots. and he's going to be, according to Sean Powell, strong candidate for one of the all-defensive teams. So what more is there? Lead the league in scoring very efficiently, defend well on the team that has the best record in the league. I'm sorry, Joker, you just don't measure up to that. And to me, it's not even really that close.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, but we'll see. People love one thing about different leagues, and this, I've always said this. I remember this specifically, and I don't remember the exact year. Maybe I should look that up, and maybe you can help me. Remember Pudge Rodriguez won the MVP, and I remember he won at 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, 100 runs, stuff like that. But it was really Griffey's MVP to win. And they gave it to Pudge because, and I say it like this, when you are a star, when you are a superstar, when you are someone who has consistently put up astronomical numbers, you get paid big for this very reason is we expect you to do those things. And sometimes, or not even sometimes, I'll say a lot of times, as fans, as media, as onlookers, we completely forget that, and I'll use the metaphor of what I'm saying, the situation. When Griffey comes up, he hits 50 home runs, 100 RBIs, 100 runs, slugging is off the hook. He's on OBP is bananas, all these different things, statistics and analytics that you can say. And Pudge didn't even have the exact numbers that Griffey, but we're used to seeing Griffey do that. That's what he does. So it's nothing new. It's not an astronomical year for him. And so sometimes I think we kind of get caught up in, you made a great case for Jokic. Some of the things he's still doing is like, man, how could you accomplish that? But we've come to kind of think, Jokic is fantastic in putting up astronomical numbers, where SGA, he's done it, but he's really coming into his own and really becoming one of the superstars of this league.
Yeah, Jokic, top 3 in scoring, number 2 in rebounds, number 2 in assists, tied for second in steals, which is just astounding.
Yeah, man.
Led the league in triple doubles. But you also have to factor this in. And Denver was a good team.
Yeah, they were.
Oklahoma City was the best team. So that's always tricky to me is, well, how do you separate the most valuable player from his team? First of all, they're not the best team without him. But also, to me, the best teams are playing the most important games. And so the guys on the best teams are playing in bigger games. And so their numbers actually even mean more. But it comes down, bottom line, is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting it done defensively. I know some have said he's a little overrated defensively, but he's a candidate for all defensive teams. And Jokic is not a good defender. So MVP, most valuable player. To me, you're more valuable if you're getting it done at both ends of the court, Jay. This is hard for me to say because I like Jokic. And usually I'm over here and Drapes to talk about Jokic. But I got to say, it's not the Joker this year. It's Shai.
Yeah, it is. I'm with you. I don't really think, I don't think it's a conversation. I don't really think, Jokic has an opportunity to say that is my trophy when you look and really pay attention what SG has done. He's pretty much led this NBA season from front to back. And his team has definitely been balling all season. I think it's just his turn. It's his time.
Yep. It's most likely
much more than that.
And it would be great if the Kings got to see him up close and personal in the first round. And I'm trying to guard against talking myself into that, Jay. The Kings should be able to beat Dallas. There's no guarantee. Anthony Davis is a fine player, and I know Sabonis has done well against him historically. The Kings should win that game. And then you've got either the Warriors or the Grizzlies, and that's not going to be easy. But I think the Kings have a legitimate shot. I don't think it's just, if everything goes their way. I think they have a shot. Is that realistic, or am I getting stars in my eyes here? Am I getting the beam in my eyes?
Well, realistic in the
form honest with me, Jay.
Of making
be honest.
The playoffs?
Yes.
Of course it's a realistic shot.
You'd have to beat the Warriors or the Grizzlies.
I'm not afraid of that. What you're saying is the Kings need to win 2 games.
Right.
Is that the biggest long shot ever?
No,
this ain't this ain't the Kentucky Derby or nothing. This is you're not 20,000 to 1 here. Kings have a shot to beat the Mavericks and or Warriors and or
Mavericks
the
is
Mac.
done to you.
Yeah,
Take that to the
chalk it up.
Yeah,
count it up.
Take that to the.
Are you
asking?
Are you asking? Are you being a fan?
Yeah. As I say, the more I think about it, the more I think they could do it. And I'm wondering if I'm letting myself get a little carried away.
No, man, you're just being realistic. So what would you rather, as a fan, what would you rather be saying? Would you rather be like, this is over. It's doomsday.
Well, a
close
lot of
up
fans
shop.
do that, and I've done it myself.
Sure.
It's like a defense mechanism, like, I don't think they'll win. When deep down you're like, I'm preparing myself for if they don't win, but I think they might.
You're right. You're trying to trick your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand. There's nothing wrong with being that. With having a defensive mechanism, I think the Kings have an opportunity. I also think they could get smoked. It could go both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Be realistic.
I also feel like the way this whole season's gone,
right,
that it's faded. However it ends, it's going to end bad. Maybe they do get to the playoffs, but this year's been so up and down. I just have this feeling like however it ends, that when they lose, wherever they lose, they're going to lose emphatically. It's just a hunch I have.
Here you go with that defensive mechanism again. This team is flawed.
It could happen Wednesday. I don't think it will, but it could. It could happen Friday, or it could happen against OKC. But I feel like when it ends, it's going to be like, wow, you are done.
This team is flawed. This team has went on runs. This team has went on losing streaks. This team has went into Boston, has went into other Cleveland in one games, Minnesota in one games, Houston in one games. And then we've seen this team has taken L's against some of the worst teams, a la Washington Wizards. This team is roll the dice, see what you get. They have an opportunity to beat the Mavericks. They've played the Mavericks tough over the last couple of seasons, albeit a lot of the players on the Mavericks aren't the same. We know AD's going to be there, Clay's going to be there, but no Kyrie, of course, no Luka, those type of guys. But at the same time, you beat them. We've seen them eliminate the Warriors just last year. We seen them lose to 7 games.
Well, that was just last year.
No, man, you seen them take care of Memphis. As Drapes talked about a little earlier, Ja Morant was gone on one of the games as far as ejected. I remember one of the games he didn't play. So it's who knows, man. Mm-hmm. But they have a shot. So trick your mind however you want to.
Mm-hmm. They got a game anyway. You got a game, you got a shot. When we come back to the draft, how often does the first quarterback drafted become the best pro quarterback of his draft class? Got the numbers on that. The numbers are lower than you might. Yeah. Yes, next year, Drive Guy, Sacktown Sports.
Visit SacktownSports.com and join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter.
It's Carmichael Dave talking to you about my good friends at American Energy. You're in the Sacramento area. You know how the seasons work. They are a-changing right now. So American Energy wants to help you stay warm for the rest of the cold season, but help you stay cool during the warm season. Best way to do that, make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of half off a tune-up, $24.50. They cut that right in half, and if you want a diagnostic, guess what? You can't beat free. If it's free, it's me, and now it can be you. And also, it's the end of the season blowout. $4,000 off a new system plus any rebates. That $4,000, that's a direct drop from the sticker price. It's a great deal. Check them out at theaeway.com or an instant quote, or give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now. Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. Introducing all new high-limit slots, showcasing over 260 exciting slots, impeccable service, premium amenities, and action that's unmatched.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, there's nothing more exciting for a team than to see the potential of a number 1 pick come to fruition. Now, we know it's early, it's just after 11 games, but Tyler Soderstrom from Turlock High was number 3 in the American League in batting at .381 and tied for first in homers with 6. And Jacob Wilson, number 4 in batting at 366. Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business with reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solution, and Wi-Fi backup. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. For details on special offers, including free professional installation and up to a $500 Visa prepaid card on qualifying internet bundles, log on to business.comcast.com. Comcast Business, powering possibility.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo. Presented by Rocks Tech with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Michelob Ultra and Carl's Jr. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
The Napoleon Stainless Steel Prestige 500 connected propane grill with infrared side and rear burner is a dynamic evolution in grilling. Featuring Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity, it brings you closer to your grilling experience than ever before. The Napoleon Connected lets you monitor temperatures, set timers, and receive high temp warnings all from your smartphone. With temperature probes and LCD display, you'll always know exactly what's happening inside your grill. Napoleon's LED control knobs even illuminate for nighttime, entertaining, and feature safety glow. Napoleon Grills. Simply the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Jay and Whitey today. Dre's back with us tomorrow. We sent him home. He wasn't feeling tip-top. Here's some tidbits today, breaking news today. Nothing major. The big news today is that Sean Cunningham's going to KCRA Channel 3. But the Denver Nuggets have named Ben Tenzer interim general manager. Ben Tenzer from the Grand Rapids Gold of the G League, I believe. Grand Rapids Gold, are they a G League team? Yes, official G League affiliate of the Nuggets, of course. Just want to make sure of that. You know, some people are suggesting that if the Kings want a new GM, and again, I hope they don't get a new GM, but a lot of people have said maybe Gabe Harris would be the guy, the GM of the Stockton Kings. All the best to the Stockton Kings tonight. They play the third and final game of the G League Finals tonight against Osceola Magic. Have you heard that at all, Jay? Just as far as speculation, just people saying maybe Gabe Harris would be a candidate.
Say that one more time. I apologize. I was on the phone.
All right, you're busy, I know. I've heard, and this is mostly just fans suggesting it, like if the Kings are in the market for new GM, maybe Gabe Harris from the Stockton Kings would be a candidate.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much of that. I mean, common sense because he's tied already to the organization. No doubt he would probably be a name that people would look at, but I haven't heard anything about that yet, Whitey.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't heard any keep an eye on this. It's just fans wondering and speculating. We also have this from Bleach Report. Thank you, Jay, for passing this along. Pistons have restricted fans outside of Michigan from buying tickets for home games versus the Knicks.
I'm all about that.
Are you?
Yeah.
I don't like that. And I know a lot of teams have done that. I know baseball teams have done that. I get it, but to me, it's like, I don't know. I restricting fans from do a better job of developing fans in your own market. I just don't like that restricting fans business. Why do you like that?
Well, I like it.
I think it's un-American, frankly.
I got you. I understand where you're coming from. Let me put an addendum on there. I would like to, I'd say, put a time limit on it to where fans from outside of that state can buy tickets. Allow your squad, your team, your faithful, your fans, get to obtain the tickets as best as they possibly can. And then go ahead and offer them to, outsiders, so to say. But I think there's an opportunity because listen, if I'm coming into, Kings are playing Memphis, right? We'll say Memphis. If we want to go to Memphis, absolutely. We want an opportunity to go see the, team ball against the Grizzlies. So yeah, I think there's a time period, something, I guess a pre-time that anybody outside the state can buy something, but I'm for it.
I know a lot of teams have done it and I get it, but I think it's possible. The first team I can remember doing this was the Rams when, remember, they were hosting those playoff games against the 49ers. They even went, Sean McVay went on the news, local news in LA, and like were begging fans in Los Angeles, don't sell your tickets. Don't sell your tickets to 49er fans.
Well, those just haters.
Yeah. Well, those are just people like just trying to make some money.
Yeah.
By the way, do you think maybe that's one of the reasons why so many A's tickets were sold? There was just people thinking, I'm going to make a killing on the secondary market. I'm going to buy these tickets. That's why the tickets went so fast. And I know a lot of the people that bought the tickets, season tickets, I know you know some of them. Mm-hmm. They're legitimate fans. But I can't help but wonder if some of it was fueled by the speculation that these tickets are hard to get. Sacramento and people in Sacramento are going to go crazy for baseball. I'm buying the tickets so I can sell them for more.
Of course, man. That's always playing a part in this game.
That demand has not been what they thought it would be.
Absolutely. That's I guess that's what you do when you lean out there and walk the plank.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Well, it's like this, Whitey. It's a gamble. Anytime you choose to gamble, there's going to be some things on the back end that you might have to deal with that you were hoping goes the other way. And if you chose to get season tickets as not a fan, as not a baseball fan, as someone that is, genuinely going to watch games, but at the same time, hey, listen, as I always say, I'm one for people that always talk about it. Society is a mofo right now.
Yeah.
It is very difficult in many different instances for a lot of people throughout the world. And so however you're trying to get up or, feed your family is what I'll say is how you feed your family. But I'll say this, I think if you have the opportunity to buy season tickets, you probably have enough money to feed your family as well.
Right.
So I get what you're saying, Whitey. If you chose to gamble and think you were going to make money on a secondary market, your loss.
One of the biggest gambles in sports is picking a quarterback very high in the NFL draft. I have here from The Athletic. Some of this is opinion, but this is overall very solid. Over the past 25 years, how many times has the first quarterback drafted become the best quarterback of the draft? What would you think, Jay? We'll go over the numbers here. Just your guess. Over the past 25 years, how many times has the first quarterback drafted become the best quarterback?
So since 2000 or 99?
Since 2000.
Okay, 2000. What was that? Was Bradford 2000 or 01?
Bradford was 2010, actually.
Sam Bradford was 2010?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Man, what's time gone? Sam Bradford was 2010?
Yeah. We'll just go through the numbers. I don't want to put you on
hold
the spot.
on. I'm trying to calculate a few different things.
I'm
completely off.
Just an estimate. Or
Sam Bradford was 2010?
Yeah. Yeah. He, by the way, was one of the ones who was the first quarterback drafted and ended up being the best quarterback of that class.
That is crazy. I'm trying to put a stamp on it. When was the Boise State Statue of Liberty? Was that early 2000s?
I'm not sure.
Hold on, man. Eli Manning's got to be.
Eli Manning was 2004.
Okay. So I'm looking at some guy. I'm gonna say, what is this going percentage? Like 25%, or does it go? How am I giving this to you?
Either way, you can either say the number of the 25 who ended up being the best, or give me the percentage. Either way, we can actually reverse engineer it.
I'm going to say probably 7.
7. All right.
Because I got 4 that popped in my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, 7.
2000, first quarterback drafted Chad Pennington.
Marshall, baby.
Best quarterback in that draft was a guy named Tom Brady.
Yeah. In 2000?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
2001, Michael Vick. And again, some of this is opinion.
That was the first one I thought.
The Athletic said the best quarterback was Drew Brees.
They're crazy. Well,
overall,
I guess.
2002, the first quarterback drafted David Carr.
Okay.
Best quarterback, David Garrard. So we had 0 for 3, the first 3.
What is that, 02?
That was 02. 2003, first quarterback drafted Carson Palmer, who was the best quarterback. So there's the first one. 04, Eli Manning.
Okay.
They say they gave him a tie with Ben Roethlisberger, so no credit given there.
No way. Give me a big
05, the 49ers drafted who? Who was the first quarterback taken?
I don't want to bring that up.
Who was that?
He wasn't the best quarterback.
Alex Smith. He did not end up being the best quarterback.
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Of course.
2006, Vince Young, first quarterback
VY.
drafted. Jay Cutler ended up being the best quarterback.
VY got blackballed out the league.
Yeah. 2007. Remember that dream team, that Eagles dream team. Where's Draper when you need him? 2007.
Who was the best QB?
They say Jay Cutler.
Okay.
Yeah. 2007. We can win with Jamarcus.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah. And they said the best quarterback in that class was Trent Edwards. So that wasn't a
Trent Edwards? Who the hell is Trent Edwards?
Yeah. So let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Trent
6, 7,
Edwards.
8. So we're 1 for 8. The first 8 years of this exercise, only one quarterback was the best and the first picked. We'll get back and look at the rest of it and see how Jay does. He said 7. So far, we've only had 1. It's the drive guys here looking
Stanford?
at how. Yeah.
All right. I didn't think about that.
Don't disrespect Trent Edwards.
Yeah, I was trying to think about it. And you know why? He's the Eagle, wasn't he? What, did he get drafted by the Eagles?
I don't think he
Who did he
did
get
much
drafted
for
by?
anybody. So
Yeah.
that must have been a bad quarterback class. It's the drive guys, Sacktown Sports.
Every day when we're on the road, people around us endanger themselves and others by looking at their phones while driving. There's the sneaker peeker who darts their eyes between the road and their texts, or the nightlighter who illuminates their car after dark. If that's you, reconsider before you find yourself becoming the fender bender-er, the got a ticket-er, or worst of all, the driver who killed someone. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Advanced Infusion Center, where we prioritize your comfort and well-being. Whether you're managing a chronic condition or seeking specialized IV therapy, our state-of-the-art center offers tailored solutions to meet your needs. Advanced Infusion Center's dedicated healthcare professionals are here to ensure your safety and provide personalized care. Conveniently located in Sacramento and Yuba City with flexible scheduling options. Experience a new standard in infusion therapy. Visit Advanced Infusion Center today at advancedinfusion.com.
Springfest at Lowe's means can't miss savings for your home and lawn. Right now, buy 3 bags, get 3 free on Miracle Grow 3/4 cubic foot all-purpose garden soil. Plus, buy 2, get 1 free on select exterior paint and stain via mail-in rebate. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/16, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last, selection varies by location. See rebate form for complete list of eligible products. Offer excludes clearance and mist tints and can't be combined with any other offer, promotion, discount, or coupon.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Alan Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. For the A's, pitcher Michel Otanez has resumed throwing from a distance up to 90 feet and could return sometime in mid-April. Brady Basso, out with that left shoulder strain, has been transferred from the 15-day injured list to the 60-day injured list. On the court, Malik Monk has been diagnosed with a left calf strain and will be reevaluated in 14 days, which means he'll miss the rest of the season and the play-in. This injury report was brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group.
Hi, I'm Alan Stiles. Injured at work? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they've won over $500 million in settlements. Downtown LA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay zero up front. Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered FlexSteel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Kings are headed for the play-in home game Wednesday, as you know, and the Stockton Kings. Are we underway yet, Jay, in Osceola?
Not yet.
Ooh, game 3, third and final game of the G League Finals. Stockton Kings against the Osceola Magic. Yeah. Jay, it's too bad Jay can't be there because he, along with, what'd you say, 4,100 fans there?
4,100 in the building, the sellout.
Yeah.
Brendan Nunez was in the building.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Saw a few guys, getting it in.
Mm-hmm.
Great Dale Rogers in the building.
Oh, okay.
Kevin John in the building. Oh, yeah. It was an atmosphere out there in Stockton.
Mm-hmm.
Fans showed up and showed out. Shouts out to the 209 getting it in, man. And one thing about it, Whitey, you had an experience to go through. It was all love, welcoming everybody that ran into that, saw me and said something. It was nothing but love, man. It was a great atmosphere.
Yeah, that's really impressive because we know that the A's were home Friday to the Metropolitans, and also the Kings were home. But a number, including Jay, a number of Sacramento media luminaries thought it was more appropriate to head down to Stockton. So
for me, it was just one of those things, kind of not a bucket list, but just checking it off. Have an opportunity to go to a G League championship game right here in our backyard, our next door neighbor, and support the Kings. 209. Like I said, they showed up and showed out, no doubt about it, Whitey. I mean, the atmosphere was solid.
Yep.
It was loud in there.
We're back with more on the Kings in just a moment, but we just want to complete this exercise with the NFL draft now, 10 days away. I asked Jay this question. Of the last 25 drafts going back to 2000, how many times, this just to show how dangerous it is when you're risky it is picking a quarterback high, how many times has the first quarterback in the draft class been ultimately the best quarterback in the draft class? We've gone from 2000 through 2007 so far. Only once in that time was the first quarterback taken ultimately the best quarterback. That was Carson Palmer. And by the way, Jay, we're talking about Trent Edwards, 2007.
Out of Stanford. Where'd he go?
He went to Buffalo. Yes. Man. And he didn't play much, but he was the best quarterback of a draft class that included.
Give me the 07 draft class.
All right. 2007 NFL draft. Jamarcus was the first quarterback taken. Then you got to go to Brady Quinn, taken by Cleveland. And then Kevin Cobb was taken by the Eagles.
Yeah, that's the Eagles.
Sean Beck was taken by Miami. Drew Stanton by the Lions.
Michigan State.
Not a great quarterback class. The guy who ultimately ended up being, for all intents and purposes, the best of the bunch.
Trent Edwards?
Trent Edwards.
He was
than
Brady
taken
Quinn?
With the 92nd pick.
Third round?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
All
Jay
right.
said, what'd you say? You said seven times?
Yeah.
Was your guess? Okay. So we hit a hot streak here, Jay. Between 2008 and 2012, the first quarterback drafted ended up being the best quarterback drafted each year.
Okay.
Matt Ryan in 08.
Okay.
Stafford in 09.
Okay.
Sam Bradford, your guy in 2010.
Man, 2010 must
Cam
have been a terrible
Newton
draft.
in 2011.
Okay.
And Andrew Luck in 2012.
Okay.
So
I'm
there's
what?
6.
I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm up.
Yeah. You need just one more. But then hit a little rough patch there. 2013.
Who we got?
EJ Manuel was first quarterback taken.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Best quarterback looks like Geno. 2014, the first quarterback taken. Anybody? Jacksonville? Blake Bortles.
Okay.
Best quarterback's Derek Carr. 2015, it was Jameis. So that's first quarterback was the best quarterback. Then in 2016, Jared Goff drafted first. They say here Dak's better. 2017, Trubisky was picked first. A guy named Patrick Mahomes was probably better. 2018, Baker Mayfield, first quarterback drafted. Then you go either Josh Allen or probably Lamar Jackson was better. 2019, Kyler Murray. 2020, Joe Burrow. 2021, Trevor Lawrence. Then the last 3 years, Kenny Pickett, Brock Purdy.
Yep.
Bryce Young was first taken. CJ Stroud's better. And then Caleb Williams last year. Jane Daniels a better quarterback, at least so far. So in the 25 years, only 10 times. 10. Only 10 times.
Yeah, Kyler was one. Who was 22 that they counted?
Let's see. They go Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Jameis Winston, Luck, Newton, Bradford, Stafford, Ryan, Carson Palmer. It's only 10 times.
There's one or two I'd argue, but yeah, I hear you. Yeah. I got you.
So yeah, you can quibble, but basically 40% of the time,
almost half.
The first guy taken.
A little less than half.
Yeah. That's a little scary, isn't it?
It is. I think you're reaching with some of those guys. EJ Manuel, man. But there also goes to show there's sometimes there's not a quarterback there, so just let it be. And that's where the reach comes into.
Right.
You know, it's like but a lot of those are written on the wall for me. Mm-hmm. If EJ Manuel, no disrespect to EJ Manuel, is your best quarterback option, even coming out of college, I was like, he's a hit or miss guy. He's not a guaranteed guy. I don't think I'll take him first.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's so much at stake. I just think teams too often talk themselves into, well, we need a quarterback, and he's the best quarterback, and we have the pick, so he's got to be our guy, right? We got to take him. It's destiny. It's our destiny. Then you end up, wah, wah.
Who did this? Who was the source for this?
This was in The Athletic, and the gentleman who did it is named... It's Jacob Robinson and Diana Rossini.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. That's interesting.
Yes.
That's interesting. I'm going to have to read that article because I would like to see the determining factor of how they considered, Blake Bortles versus Trent Edwards, guys like that, where some of the lean years, who was better?
Mm-hmm.
Is it longevity? Is it playoff success? Wins versus losses? Like, what are they calculating of how someone could be better than the other person?
Right. Yeah. Trent Edwards just didn't have a very good career, but that was just not a great
in the league.
Class. Yeah. Now, somebody in the text line here from the 916 says, hey, Whitey, question. Can we apply this draft logic to the NBA? Maybe the number one pick isn't the best. Maybe you can find a good player at 12. Kings should have kept the pick. So we're back to that, Jay.
Yeah.
The pick is almost certainly gone. Pray to your lottery gods, and maybe you'll get lucky.
Right.
You're going to lose the pick at some point anyway.
Right. But I guess you wanted to convey into 2 second rounders down the road, couple years down the road. I would rather see this pick leave the nest this year. Back half of the lottery, go ahead. Or the end of the lottery, not even back half, but the end of the lottery. Go ahead and convey it. I always say this too. When you really look at it, and this isn't an excuse, this isn't a reason. I've heard people say, "Oh, well, that's not the best reason." What would Kings do with the 14th pick? Let's just say they just throw it out there. What would the Kings do with the 14th pick? What would they do with the 12th pick?
Mm-hmm.
Are we really certain they would spot on and hit that player?
Never certain, but I understand.
It's a gamble, right?
Yeah, I don't agree with it, but I understand it. It makes sense. People say you're not that good now, so you're better off adding a piece that might end up making you better next year. I understand that. I just don't agree with it. I think you deal with what's in front of you now and you play to win the game.
Absolutely.
By the way,
I do.
Answer to one of your questions from Michael McNiven, 2007 Boise State Statue of Liberty.
Thank
Club.
you, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shouts out to Mike.
Yeah, you had a little issue getting your bearings straight on.
Yeah, I'm trying to pinpoint some of those years.
Mm-hmm.
VY, and it was a 06. Is that the push? The Bush push?
Yeah.
Was that because VY beat USC beat the year before, so would that be 05, then 06? And so many different years you're trying to really tap in and see,
By the way, Jay, Magic up to an 8-3 lead here.
Well, that'd be 8-6. Splash. Oh, he missed it.
I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah, come on, man. All positive.
Doug Christie talked yesterday about how the Kings should have won more games this season, and he talked about consistency and effort, and he talked about not getting caught up in the gravity of it. It's amazing how, to me, it's really interesting how you've got such a veteran team that should know these things, and yet Doug Christie continues to preach consistency and effort at the defensive end. And there are a number of games the Kings kicked this year. That's been one theme the last 2 years. There's handful of games. I know any team can say this. I have this discussion with my buddy John Dickinson all the time. Every team can go back, oh, we should have won that game, that game, that game. But I think the Kings have kicked away too many the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, especially against teams that on paper they should have won.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been a pattern for this Kings team over the last couple of years, this regime under Monty, and of course Mike before Mike was relieved of his duties. I'm with you. There's been some off nights where you kind of leave your head scratching your head trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, where did it go?
That
things look good, and then everything just disappeared.
Yeah, and then on the flip flop, there's some games where like, how in the hell did they go win that game?
Right.
So this team, it gives and takes, man. It's ebbs and flows.
Little Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, it is.
Can the playoffs salvage what has been really a tough season for the whole NBA? That's next with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Spring is here, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento area. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, huge spring savings for you today.
Grab the keys to a new fuel-efficient Toyota. More miles, fewer fill-ups. Toyota hybrids are built to go the distance with legendary dependability and head-turning style. Get a low-cost lease on a new 2025 Prius or shop deals on 17 Toyota hybrid models from the longest-lasting brand on the road. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care. 2 years of complimentary maintenance. Toyota. Let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Offers end 4/30/25.
Everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you? Are you looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights? Maybe even restore your gun rights? Do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? Well, the attorneys at Gonzalez Law Office are here to help. Find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. We don't settle for less, and neither should you.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Even though the Kings are headed to the play-in and hopefully the playoffs, I don't know that anyone's been exactly thrilled with this season. They've been wrestling all year trying to get things headed in a positive direction. Maybe they are right now, maybe they're not. But there are a lot of teams in that boat. And in no way am I trying to say, oh, the Kings are fine, everyone's that way. I'm not trying to make excuses for the Kings. But it is interesting to look around the league, and we touched on this last week, and look at how many teams and organizations across the league right now are at some kind of crossroads or have been so dissatisfied with the general direction that they've made massive changes. The Suns firing Mike Budenholzer today, no real surprise. The Suns have arguably been the most disappointing team in NBA history when you look at how much they paid for that roster. Also, Pelicans firing David Griffin, who's been running the show there, longtime GM, executive vice president, effectively the GM. And by the way, it looks like Joe Dumars is front runner for the top job. He was here for a while.
Yeah. He definitely was a consultant type. You know what it is, though? You said it with the Phoenix Suns. It's the money. the money that is being spent on players throughout the league and general managers and coaches, it's at an all-time high. When you're paying guys 50, 60 million bucks, you're paying coaches $5 million, $8 million, $10 million a season. You're paying general managers millions of dollars. It's just at an all-time high, Whitey. And if you don't, win, then we need to make some changes and quickly nowadays.
The Warriors, are they were pleased with the results after the Jimmy Butler trade, of course, but they didn't end the season especially well. And they had an inside track to one of the top 6 spots. They lose yesterday. So they're in the play-in. There's every reason to think, well, they have a great chance to get out, but they're not going to tear anything down, but they're not overly thrilled right now. Memphis obviously just fired Taylor Jenkins, who had been there a long time and was successful. Kings aren't thrilled. Dallas, that's been a disaster this year. And not only that, but you've also had a lot of injuries this year. By one measure, possibly the most injuries in the last 25 years in the NBA. I think there were more injuries during the COVID year, but if you take the COVID cases out, that changes some of the numbers. And there have just been a lot of injuries this year and a lot of injuries to a lot of really big name players. You've had complaints about the ratings and too many threes. And, the All-Star game thing was just kind of what was that? I love the NBA. I just can't help but notice that across the league, a lot of people were not very happy with the way this year went, Jay.
So if I hear what you're saying, it was a league-wide issue.
Yeah.
Very much so.
There's a number of different things that work, and hopefully we can have some great playoff series here and start to turn things back around. I know there was a lot of uncertainty with, for example, Inside the NBA, and was that going to be on? That's a popular show. But there's just a lot of dissatisfaction across the league. On the other hand, the Oklahoma City Thunder are thrilled. And it's funny. I think a lot of it has to do with expectations because in the East, I don't think you have as many teams that are really as disappointed. Miami, probably.
Just take a look. If you really go through it, Cleveland, they're probably excited. The Boston is pretty much where they probably felt they would be. The Knicks are 51-31, 13 back from the Cavs. They finished in the 3rd spot, 1 game better than the Pacers. But I could also argue that the Knicks felt like after everything they did this offseason, the Villanova connection,
I'm with you.
Spending all the money on OG Anunoby, like you would think that they were hunting for the number 1 spot. As you talked about, Jalen Brunson missed a lot of games. We know Mitchell Robinson missed a lot of games. They had a bunch of injuries on the Knicks. Pacers are probably right where they thought they would be. You think the Bucks,
a little underwhelming.
Yeah, They made a trade in the middle of the season, acquiring Kyle Kuzma.
They did win their last 8, but I'm with you.
They did. Absolutely. They were balling 8-2 in the last 10. The Pistons probably overachieved.
Yes. They're
huge.
very happy. They're thrilled.
Orlando Magic?
Disappointing.
500, 41-41.
They fell back this year. They couldn't shoot. Yeah. They were expecting better things.
Hawks?
Atlanta's probably like, yeah, we did okay.
We're there.
Yeah. The Bulls are like doing somersaults.
Right. We made it.
Yeah.
We made it.
We got rid of all these big money players that were older, and we're pretty much where we were.
That's very true. You talked about the Heat probably underperforming. Raptors, who knows?
Yeah.
Nets
are not even trying to be good.
Yeah.
Sixers tried, but it became
they're definitely
obvious very early on. It's like, this ain't working.
Yeah, disappointed though, because they're paying a lot of money. Wizards, Hornets, that's a wash. Now you look at so what we got about 5 there. Would you count 5? Knicks, where you go for Knicks pro con? What do you think? You think they're a little disappointed?
A little bit disappointed,
but they have everything they want and still in front of them.
Yeah, I would say ultimately a little disappointing because they also didn't have a great record against the really good teams.
Got you.
We'll see, though. They're still obviously in good shape to do some.
So give us Knicks, Miami for sure. I say Philadelphia too. So that'd be 4.
Yeah.
OKC, Rockets, Lakers, Nuggets. Let's start there.
They ended strongly, and they're in the top 4, but, they were miserable for much of the year. So miserable. Everyone said, this team was miserable. We had to get rid of the GM and the coach.
Right.
So they're trying to sort things out, but for the most part, this has been a dismal year for them.
T-Wolves,
I think they're happy to be 6th here. So I think we still don't know. It's been tough for them. I think they miss Cat. We'll see. Right now, it's like, well, their heads are above water.
Warriors
are very disappointed to be in the play-in.
Memphis,
very disappointed to be not only in the play-in, but they had to fire their coach.
Obviously,
got a lot of yeah.
Obviously, you had in Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix for sure.
Yes.
San Antonio. Interesting.
They can put a happy face on it, but you know that a lot of it had to do with Wemby, though.
Sure.
But yeah, they weren't thrilled about it.
Pelicans definitely disappointed.
Terribly disappointing.
So I mean, you got half the league easy.
Yeah.
Half the league probably.
Yeah. What do you think of this, Jeff? I may ask your opinion. Paul George leaves the Clippers. A lot of people thought, oh, that's it for them. He goes to Philadelphia. Now, it wasn't his fault that Philly was bad. They had some injuries. But Philly 24-58, and the Clippers are 50-32. Does that in any way tarnish PG-13's legacy, which in some corners was already had some dents in it?
Yeah, I think on top of the year he had, he'll take a little dent.
Yeah, he's a fine player. I'm not sure he's as good as his reputation says he is.
Well, I think he built his reputation in smaller markets, not being given the credit that he should have gotten early on in his career.
In Indiana?
Yeah, I think it's kind of flip-flop for PG-13. I think when PG-13 was at his height, when he was in his prime, had the Nikes doing his thing, was when he was in smaller markets.
Yeah.
And he probably should have been giving more love. And then now that he's flip-flopped and been in bigger markets, has become the star that really he deserved to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're playing with the Clippers in Philadelphia. You know, there was a riff at the OKC situation, but I think it's kind of flip-flopped. And, you know, I'll always go back to the horrific leg injury, and I'm not using that as a total excuse, but it's got to be different trying to come out and hoop every single day after that happened.
Yeah, it probably does. I'm sure it does. It's not so much what happened to the Sixers that raises questions about PG-13, because they had terrible injuries and Embiid got hurt. What can you do about that? It's how well the Clippers played without him.
And they got some, but you know what, though? The Clippers got a good team on paper.
They do.
And with or without PG-13, I just truly thought they had. I was a huge Derrick Jones Jr. guy. He was on my short list when we talked about the Kings need to go get athletic and long. That's a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Him, Najee Marshall, and Dyson Daniels are the three that I'd have threw everything I possibly had at those guys. And more times than not, like DJ's contract was chump change in the NBA. Dyson Daniels, now, albeit he was traded, he was there for the taking, though.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was just a couple guys I thought, you know, Monty and the Kings, and just say the Kings organization, not Monty, but the whole Kings organization missed on. Norman Powell, I guess, was just something budding that we didn't know.
Right. Just waiting for that chance.
Yeah. Zubac has always been pretty good. You know, James Harden is going to ball. As much as people don't like his game, one thing he does, puts up numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to put up numbers.
Yeah, that team is there. There's a toughness to him this year. And I know that, you know, Harden hasn't always had that reputation. He never will. But overall, that team has that toughness to him. Paul George is a really good defender. He's a big-time scorer, but he's never had that kind of edge to him.
Agreed.
And I think that's where it's like, ooh, wow, maybe that's what he's lacking. And he'll have something to prove next year. Remember, the Warriors desperately wanted him.
Mm-hmm. So I thought he would have fit perfect for them.
Uh-huh.
Because I'll be honest, I think the Warriors are a team that I always say, and it sounds crazy, I think they don't have that edge a lot of times.
That's why Jimmy was such a good fit, potentially.
There you go.
Him and Draymond.
I'll say this. I think you don't lose 3-1 if you got the edge. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a few opportunities that the Warriors, minus Draymond, have had the opportunity to show edge, and they haven't. And to me, I always said, you know, you look back at the David Wests of the Bogut's, like the Zaza Pachulias, guys who have edge. You see, they normally win. Then when they lose a few of those, you know, they're not the biggest pieces, but hey, you better back up.
Yeah.
Here comes Zaza.
Yep. Watch out, Kawhi.
Yeah.
He's going to step under you.
D West.
Yeah. I love David West. A lot of people, a lot of Kings fans are looking at the Warriors and saying, all right, Steph he's got a hand injury.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you saw, Jimmy Butler took a Kawhi knee to the thigh yesterday. It was bad. He was limping the rest of the game. It was late in the game when that happened.
Yeah, I did see it.
Steve Kerr says he'll be okay. Jimmy Butler says he'll be okay. But, you know, Kings fans are thinking, wow, if the Warriors lose, they're kind of, They're older. They
Banged
kind of
up.
limp into that game. Opportunity knocking, Jay. Well, I hope so, but
you want to see that Dubs game, huh?
I do. Wouldn't that be a lot more fun than, they're going to Memphis with a chance to go to the playoffs?
Keep it NorCal.
Yes.
You in attendance? Friday?
No, because they'll be there, right? Yeah, I would not.
Yeah, you want to go? Okay.
Hostile territory.
Yeah, but we need Mr. Gleason to pull up,
like
baby.
you said, they're the dentist's office.
Yeah, it is, man. It's
We got to work. I wouldn't be able to get there on Friday.
Man, come on. We make moves around here, brother. If you want to go see the Kings play the Warriors, believe me, we'll flip the switch for you to get out there and do the show from there.
All right. Will the Kings advance? Who will they play for a shot at the postseason? We'll continue to speculate, hopefully educate at least each other next on Sacktown Sports.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
What up, fellow Gen Xers? Elizabeth Banks here. As the original Latchkey kids, we took things into our own hands, like house keys and video game controllers. And now it's time for us to do it again, because the recommended age to get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. We're at over 6 times greater risk compared to adults under 50. So go to vaxassist.com and schedule. Gen X, this is our shot. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635. And you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Save $12,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Silverado 1500 LT at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter after all rebates. And Maida Chevy still has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area with $12,000 off new Silverado exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
5 savings must trade in 2011 or newer. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Will the Kings advance? If they advance, who will they play in a one-gamer for a shot at the postseason? So Drive Guys here. Kyle Draper has the rest of the afternoon off. He was with us earlier. Not feeling tip-top. Should be back with us tomorrow. So it's Whitey and Jay. How do you feel about this, Jay? And the text line here, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. This is from the 925. While the overall record was disappointing and the trend is down the last couple of years, nevertheless, this is the first time in 20 years the Kings have won 40 or more games in 3 consecutive years! !
Yeah. Man, we're talking about I'm trying to be nice here. I'm not going to be normal, Jay. We're talking about an organization that has not been on the winning side of many seasons.
That's true.
We're talking about an organization that has really struggled not only to make the postseason, but really do anything in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about an organization that has really been the laughing stock of the NBA in many different avenues and from many different NBA circles and from media. At some point, you have to change that narrative. And how you start to change that narrative is you win. Now, it may not be Western Conference final runs. It may not be championship runs. But if you want to start to garner some respect, you want to start to garner respect for yourself throughout the NBA circles, you start to win 40 games. You start to make play-in and playoff runs. You start to win a series or two. You start to have and or go grab stars like Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. How soon we forget. Again, I go back to it. I was sitting on a cruise ship in Belize or Honduras or somewhere, and DeMar DeRozan, as I walk across.
You said you'll never forget
I'll never forget
You
it.
don't even know where you were.
And I don't even know where I was at. But no, I remember looking at the text. It was like, DeMar DeRozan, California Classic. And I remember I hit Drapes, and I was like, what's up with this, KD? And he's like, it's real. And Sacramento, the people in Sacramento, the people around Sacramento, the team around the fans, they celebrate it. And that's my point is, one thing I don't want to do, and I've been the first person to say this, I'm not going to pat everybody on the back for not winning championships. I've always said I play to win championships. I play to win. But there is a level of you have to take a step back, Whitey, and say, damn, this team ain't been good in a long time. This, hopefully, the way I look at it is this is the beginning of something that steamrolls over the next 20 years. That's what I'm looking for.
I understand that. Here's where I draw the line on it, though. The Kings, if they'd have had a winning record, 42-40, that would have been 3 straight winning years. That, to me, would have been something you could point to. 40 wins in 3 consecutive years, to me, it's like, because this year you had a losing record. So I can't get excited about 40 when you had a losing record.
Maybe excited is not the right word.
Let's see. Well, let me just see exactly how this person just said.
They said excited?
Hey, no, they just said this is the first time in 20 years the Kings have won 40 or more games in 3 consecutive years with an exclamation mark.
Glass half full type of person.
Yeah. But given that they won, 48 2 years ago,
right? And
it's been dropping and you didn't have a winning record this year, to me, it's like, that's a stretch. It's
true. Yeah, for sure.
But to me, if you're looking for reasons to get excited and you're going to pull that out, to me personally, that's a stretch. Doug was asked about that yesterday, and he kind of had the same reaction.
Yeah, of course.
Where, I was like,
because we plan to win a ship.
Yeah.
Whitey.
And so if you're playing to win a championship, you can't very well get excited about a year in which you didn't even have a winning record. That's all.
Yeah, but I don't think that's see, I think you're changing the narrative of what that person is saying. That's why I said, what's the word? Excited? Or was it more or less?
They're just pointing it out. They say the trend, the overall record was disappointing and the trend is down.
Right.
Nevertheless, hey, this is the first time in 20 years that Kings have won 40 more games.
So they're just being half glass full. They're optimistic.
Silver lining there. But to me, it's like, good for you. I'm not willing to go there.
I got you.
From the 209.
You're pessimistic.
No, realistic. And also, maybe you're rubbing off on me. It's like, wait, you want to win a championship?
Yeah, absolutely.
40 and 42. What? I'm supposed to get excited about that?
Hell no.
A losing record?
No way.
209 says it is so frustrating as Kings fans. We have to celebrate mediocrity because the alternative is 16 consecutive losing seasons.
Very
That's a
true.
great point.
Yeah, and that's why I said I think the person that the first person that you I think it was in
925. Yeah,
it was a 925. It was in the text thread. I couldn't remember the text thread or the chateau. They're being optimistic. They're half glass full, and I completely agree with the 209. It is frustrating as a Kings fan that you have to celebrate being average. Yeah, it shouldn't. You should want to hold this organization and team to a higher standard, and I'm with you. But I also look at it from, I guess that's my job, is I also look at it from a standpoint of we have optimistic fans also.
Right.
And so there are, two sides to every story.
Right.
There's really three sides to every story.
Yeah.
Two sides to the story.
In some ways, I would say this year has tested the optimism of Kings fans almost as much as any other season. That's
Agreed.
not quite true because, there have been some just terrible seasons. Like 17 wins or whatever.
Right.
They've been some awful, awful seasons. So that might be a bit of a stretch, but it has been a rough season, given that everything seems to have fallen from such a high place in such a short time.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. But you still have a shot at the playoffs. You probably I would think you play Memphis. There are some questions about the Warriors and their health, and they really look like they hit a wall physically down the stretch of the season, the last few games, that is. Somebody asked Draymond yesterday about it. He said, no, it's what everyone says. Like, hey, if you're tired now, go home. And if you're tired or fatigued, there's nothing much you can do about it. He said, we're not senior citizens. Then he said, nothing against our senior citizens. We love them.
He loves you.
Yes. But he said, no, that's not an issue. But that's just talk. The way they played that game they lost last week to San Antonio, that was, and I apologize.
HB game winning 3.
Yeah, and it was something like their 6th game in 9 nights, something like that. And, for that Warrior team to lose to the Spurs, that probably caught up to them a little bit because they are a veteran team. So then now they do have a little bit of time off, but they got to play tomorrow. So they might be a little vulnerable.
Meaning the Warriors.
Yes.
To the Grizzlies, or to if they lose and then play the Kings as well?
Well, to both.
Or both situations.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's vulnerable. I mean, if you're
vulnerable than we thought,
if you're down at the bottom of the situation, you're on your way out. No doubt about it. And so I'm not. One of the things about it is we can have the discussion in the form of, well, who do we want to play? And I understand why you want to play the Warriors. This is about excitement. This is entertainment, and you want to play the Dubs. If we're looking at it that way, absolutely. If we're talking about the best solution of maybe the Kings getting into the playoffs, well, then I'll take an argument. If you want to play Memphis versus the Warriors, that depends on who you asking. But all these teams at the bottom, man, they've shown and proven it. They're really not the best teams. They're not the best teams in the league. All these teams are vulnerable. If I have an opportunity to play any of them, give them all to me. And I think what Draymond is saying is see, Draymond and the Warriors have reached the pinnacle. So he's coming out to the podium, and we know how Draymond is as well. Draymond's an all-out Spartan warrior. At least that's what he's going to portray, and he showed that too for the most part. So I think that's what he's saying is like, man, it's time to suck it up. We got to go get it.
Right.
If we want to win a championship, it's go time now. It's time to flip the switch. Now, it may be all talk, but we've seen them do it too.
I know that 2021, right before the year before they won the championship, they were in the play-in. They got knocked out of the play-in. And I remember Draymond saying, man, we're not going to get excited about being in the play-in.
Right.
Because to your point,
Right.
they had won championships. Yeah, so they got knocked out of the play-in. Their play-in record has been very poor. Last year, the 4 play-in teams, let's compare to a year ago.
Okay.
You had the Warriors and the Lakers and the Kings. Didn't they have the same record? Then you had the Pelicans in there. So look where they are from there.
Exact same record.
So the Pelicans fell apart this year because of injury. So
They're
they
bad.
just fell out of it. You could understand why. The Warriors were 10th. They move up. Looked like they're going to be in the top 6. They move up to 7th. So right now, their whole season kind of, hanging in the balance. The Lakers move all the way up.
They got gifted, blessed.
Yes. So they're very happy. And the Kings are right where they were a year ago.
Same
Right
type
there.
of team, right?
Yeah. Different roster, but same place.
And different
ultimately.
route. Definitely different route.
Mm-hmm.
The road to the ninth spot definitely wasn't as. Didn't it sound crazy? Was last year smooth? Definitely compared to this year, but was it smooth?
No, it
wasn't
underwhelming. The whole. I remember how angry fans were because everyone expected another light the beam year.
Yeah, that was crazy though.
Yeah, and then last year was more. Oh, they lost. How did they lose that game? How did they lose at home to the Bulls? How did they lose to the Heat when the Heat were shorthanded? How did they lose at home to the Pacers when the Pacers were shorthanded? Last year was a very frustrating year.
Yeah. I don't know, Whitey. I do my sigh like Kyle Draper would do. Lean back in the chair. I should probably lean back in the chair here. I'll be honest. I'm almost tired of trying to calculate optimistic versus pessimistic, half glass full versus empty, being positive, being negative, when it's really all said and done. This team has had flaws even in the Beam Team year. And as much as that was a great ride, totally get that. That was a heck of a ride. Glad I was part of the experience. Wouldn't change it for the world. If we were all sitting down and being honest, which I hoped we all were, but sometimes it don't sound like we were, Kings fans, this team, and this is why it's part of the frustration, I believe, for Kings fans, is there was something to Kings fans to build on. And that's something you always talk about. After the Beam Team year, you continue to build on what you had already established. It didn't happen.
Right.
And that set them back. Now that we see it set them back, tumultuously.
Yeah,
for sure.
Things started to disintegrate a little bit instead of improving. Real quick, last year, the play-in, you had the Lakers. Well, actually, you had the Pelicans 49-33. You had the Lakers 47-35, and then the Kings and the Warriors were 46-36. So last year, the Kings won 46 games. They were 9th. They, of course, knocked the Warriors out and then lost to the.
If they won 46 games this year, let's see, where would they be at? I'll go to the standings here. 46 wins would get you same spot. Nice.
Wah, wah.
So, I mean, and that's my thing.
And the Lakers moved all the way up to 3rd.
Yeah, but they got blessed.
Yeah.
The league gave them a gift. Now, people talk about Nico and all. Man, guess what? Adam Silver could have said, man, peace out. Come on. You're setting the trade situation upside down. The league.
It was a conspiracy.
Assets. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the league, just like they vetoed the CP3 to the Lakers, Adam Silver could have picked up the phone and said, that's not right. Luka, for that, no disrespect to the ball players and everything else that's involved, Max Christie and AD, but dude, we're setting a bad precedent. If you're going to make the trade, make it fair. Do something else. Add something else. If you need my help, go ahead and call my secretary, call my assistant. We'll call another 3rd or 4th team for you, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Step in and do something.
Luka to the Lakers, they were high-fiving each other in the league offices.
Man, which is fine. And that's why the Lakers consistently get lucky, blessed, however you want to say it, man. Forget the Lakers fans, man. Forget the Lakers organization. Got nothing for the Lakers.
We're going to climb into Whitey's Wayback Machine when we come back and wrap things up here. Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Every day when we're on the road, people around us endanger themselves and others by looking at their phones while driving. There's the sneaker-peeker who darts their eyes between the road and their texts, or the nightlighter who illuminates their car after dark. If that's you, reconsider before you find yourself becoming the fender bender-er, the got a ticket-er, or worst of all, the driver who killed someone. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
The Napoleon Stainless Steel Prestige 500 connected propane grill with infrared side and rear burner is a dynamic evolution in grilling. Featuring Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity, it brings you closer to your grilling experience than ever before. The Napoleon Connected lets you monitor temperatures, set timers, and receive high temp warnings all from your smartphone. With temperature probes and LCD display, you'll always know exactly what's happening inside your grill. Napoleon's LED control knobs even illuminate for nighttime, entertaining and feature safety glow. Napoleon Grills, simply the best.
Alan Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. For the A's, pitcher Michel Otanez has resumed throwing from a distance up to 90 feet and could return sometime in mid-April. Brady Basso, out with that left shoulder strain, has been transferred from the 15-day injured list to the 60-day injured list. On the court, Malik Monk has been diagnosed with a left calf strain and will be reevaluated in 14 days, which means he'll miss the rest of the season and the play-in. This injury report was brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group.
Hi, I'm Alan Stiles. Injured at work? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they've won over $500 million in settlements. Downtown LA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay zero up front. Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a reason why too. It's more familiarity. We've had more time playing on the court with each other with a bigger amount of group. I think it's very unfortunate for a guy like Malik, who's an integral part of what we've been doing, and a guy that's been here pretty much the longest too. Is him and Domas, with a very good synergy. But we're holding down the fort for guys like that. Hoping we get Jake back and give ourselves a good shot.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Zach LaVine at practice today. Did he say, Jay, that Kings are playing their best basketball?
Pretty much.
6 or 7 games?
Yeah, because he said because they've playing together, and I think it's just more or less like with Domas being here as well, too.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
Maybe the last 6 games, but 7 games ago was that loss to the Wizards, 116-111. But since then, they won at Charlotte, they won at Cleveland, they won at Detroit. They lost to the Nuggets by 8, lost by 1 to the Clippers, and then wrapped things up yesterday with that win. I think part of it, too, is when you're on the team, you're trying to be positive and looking for positives also. You're not just trying to talk other people into it. You're kind of trying to convince yourself that, yeah, we're on the right track. I do think they've played well the last, 6 games. Since that loss to the Wizards, they are playing better. Are they playing well enough here to take some momentum into the play-in? To me, in basketball, we always think that, you want to be playing your best basketball going into this part of the season or that or the playoffs. And, yeah, you'd like to be, but it just depends on how you play when you get there. Teams can play well, and then all of a sudden you have a bad matchup, and just like that, you're not playing well anymore.
Yeah, you're right. When you're not even playing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So reasons to be reasonably optimistic. But on the other hand, Kings fans are smart. And here, for example, in the text line from the 916, if the Kings are playing at their best, they can beat anyone. And then the person comes back, says, I'll change that. They can beat anyone if they play their best, but can lose to anyone too.
Bingo.
So Kings fans know that going in. It's like, we're excited, but realistically, we know this could go any which way, Jay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we'll find out very soon here. 48 hours as I look up at the Stockton Kings battling down by 9 late in the second half. The second quarter. But, yeah, I think we've seen it, Jekyll and Hyde. We've talked about it all season. This team, they'll walk in and beat Boston on the home floor, Cleveland on the home floor, then turn around and, all of a sudden you just see Bub Carrington and A.J. Johnson and Jordan Poole not even playing in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's too many games, too many times when the defense just isn't there. And I know that in those 6 games, I think the defense has been, at least in terms of the defensive rating, it's improved, but it's not a great defensive team. They show signs of improvement here, there. They've got some good defensive players, but they're not a very good defensive team. And then the offense, they still have issues sometimes with the ball sticking. So those things, I think with this roster, they're probably not going away. So those are things you can't really address. You do your best with them as a coach and hope you can find a way around them, paper over them in the short term and the long term. These are things I'll have to address in the offseason, which could be a very busy one, Jay. This offseason for the Kings could be very active.
It could be soon, too.
Yes. Today is April 14th. It's time for the Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz, brought to you by Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. A little different today. I'll ask Jay a few questions, but I really want to get his thoughts on some of these more significant things that happened on this date. This date, 2002, Jay.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods became the third player ever to win back-to-back Masters by beating Retief Goosen by 3 shots.
Okay.
Did you watch? I'm not even going to ask you. I was going to ask if you watched any of the Masters.
Nah, well, I've caught some highlights, of course, but I ain't watching nothing.
Rory gets it done.
Nah, I'm not watching golf, sir. I'm sorry.
We had Saturday on the True Sports Card Show.
Yep.
I was in with Emron, and Jerry Reynolds was nice enough to come on with us.
And Jerry was working hard last week, wasn't he?
I know.
Goodness.
I know. So we were talking to him about the game yesterday. I think Emron asked him, "Are you going to watch the Kings?" And he said, "I'll probably watch the Masters."
Yeah. Jerry's a master.
Watch some of it.
Jerry's a golf guy too.
He doesn't golf, but he loves watching on TV, especially the majors.
Explain to me real quick, why to you is golf exciting on television?
I think it has to do with the one-on-one nature of it. It's just one guy, and especially if it's someone you know their story, and you can see there's so much pressure on guys in the majors. It's life-altering. And so there's a lot of drama there.
Okay.
I think that's part of it.
No problem. Just want to see why Mr. Gleason liked watching golf.
And it is, visually certain courses, it's really pretty to watch. So yeah, there is a certain drama with major golf that you don't get in other sports. This date in 1969, the Expos played their first home game, beating St. Louis. That was the first major league game played outside the United States. Montreal.
69?
1969.
Okay.
1910, President William Howard Taft started the tradition of throwing out the ceremonial first pitch on opening day. I mentioned that because they don't do that anymore.
The president.
This current president is first time around, and then President Biden is his successor. They just stopped doing it. They don't do that anymore, but that used to be a thing. The president in Washington, D.C. throw out the first pitch. Yay!
There was a joke to be made, but politically, we're not a news station.
That's right.
Just leave it there.
That's right. Let me ask you this, Jay. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but just guess what year Elston Howard became the first African-American, he was a great player, he was an MVP, to play for the Yankees.
Oh.
What year did the Yankees, first time the Yankees ever had an African-American?
It was in the 50s.
It was in the 50s.
Yeah.
Correct.
50.
I think you almost said it.
I'm going to say 55.
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's too bad Draper's not here today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I don't know. To me, that's just flabbergasting.
Yeah.
And then the last team to add an African-American was Boston in 1959.
Yeah, it was 60, I was about to say. Yeah.
Which is just, I really have a hard time wrapping my brain around that. I think his name was Pumpsy Green. So throughout the 50s, Jackie Robinson was what, 49, 47? Yeah, 47. And then it wasn't until 1959 that the Red Sox added an African-American.
Well, that just lets you know.
It does.
People have been having conversations about the city of Boston, and it doesn't necessarily, speak to the city of Boston. I've only been to Boston one time, but there's something near, man. There's something near.
This date, 1985, Mark Eaton, really nice guy.
Mark Eaton.
Yeah, I remember he came to this station once. It was the other building.
Okay.
And he came in to do something with us, and I remember he had to duck way down just to get in the studio. Because he was, what was he, 7'5"?
I think I was going to say 7'6". He was around there somewhere.
Yeah, and a really nice guy, and I don't believe Mr. Eaton's with us any longer, but this date, 85, he set a single-season record by averaging how many block shots per game?
I'm going to say 7.
It was 5.56.
Yeah, it was somewhere around that time.
So basically, rounding up 6 blocks a game.
That's slapping stuff around, man.
Yeah. And finally here, in Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz, brought to you by Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. This is a guy that I know you don't think as highly of as I do, Jay.
Okay, who you got?
He was born on this date, 1966.
66.
The right-hander, Atlanta Braves.
Greg Maddux.
Greg Maddux.
Don't get me started with Greg Maddox.
The great Greg Maddox.
Greg Maddox is a beast, man. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a world champ. Everything that you possibly, Cy Young, everything you want to give Greg Maddox is.
Break him.
What? Straight garden tool. Greg Maddox was fantastic, but early on in Greg Maddox's career, when he wasn't established and when he wasn't given 2 inches and a half of a foot off the plate, guess what happened? Sent his butt right back down to the minor leagues because he was getting raked. Greg Maddox is an absolute animal, man. I kid, but
355 and 227. By the way, he's the only pitcher in history to win at least 15 games for how many consecutive years? Greg Maddox. At least 15 wins for how many years in a row?
Man. So I got to remember when he came to the Braves. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just tell you.
I'm going to say 13.
17.
Ooh.
17 straight years.
Just dealing.
Came up in 86 with the Cubs.
Yeah.
Then he signed with the Braves in 93. Also pitched a little bit for the Padres and the Dodgers.
Back in. Yeah. Man. Kent Merker. Steve Avery.
Tommy Glavine.
Tommy G.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The Braves had arms, aces, still couldn't get it done all but one time.
Greg Maddox won the Cy Young Award in 1992, 1993, 1994.
5-time, right?
1995. Looks like that.
Just
the 4, but they were 4 in a row, and he won the Gold Glove.
Too many times.
A lot.
Yeah, he wasn't jumping off the mound like that no more. That's the typical argument, Whitey, of he's the guy, you give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to, are we really sitting down and paying attention and looking at the youngsters? You know, it's the typical man.
Mm-hmm.
He does it, so give it to him.
Yeah. When are you going to make it out to an A's game? Any idea?
Yeah, I have tickets for the White Sox game here. Was that 25th or whatever that may be? That's the plan, but I might give them away.
Why is that?
Because every time I come in here, you and Draper, you guys just change my mind about the A's, man. Because I'm just down right now.
About the whole thing, situation?
The whole kid and caboodle.
Yeah. But you're the mayor of Sacramento.
I know, man.
Go out and have a good time.
You're right.
That's what I'm trying to do. And I think, I've been rooting for the Oakland A's since they've been in Northern California. And the whole thing is a mess. And Sacramento had nothing to do with that. But when they were out here playing San Diego was here, it's like we went out to the game, had a good time. There's a lot of things like, wow, that's probably not what it should be. But, when the golf cart runs out of gas on the field, like, that's probably not right.
Every time we come, every day, you got fireworks for me. You got Stomper action. The gator that ran out of gas. It's just so many things. The green light on the bridge. Yeah, Coast Guard stopped us. Yeah. Just so many things we're doing.
Just go out and sit on the lawn. We'll bring some lawn chairs.
All right, man. Maybe.
All right.
Maybe. Real quick update. 55-49, 36 seconds left. Magic over the Kings.
All right. Kings
First
are in this
half.
thing. Stockton Kings are in this thing.
They're in this thing, brother.
Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. We're back with you tomorrow. Infinity Sports Radio is next. Stick around. Sacktown Sports.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities.